I'm happy. I'm happy that it's been helping you. And also, Eklund, I've seen you also in some of my favorite channels I like to hang in. So you hang out with some really cool people on Twitch. So that's been fun too. So yeah, no, cheers. You know, the goal is to get you there. So I'm glad they helped out. But if you have any more, things that you need help with, always ask, and we shall help. Look at all the people in Deep Dungeon. Holy moly. Okay, so this is a no sustain warrior file. I'm deleting this Reaper because I did this for an experiment. I don't think I need... Why did I do this? Oh, I was doing some video capturing. Okay, that can go away. That can go away too. Okay, so warrior in 51 plus. Gotta get those Mog Tomes. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, we're doing that now, actually. So if you want to see another way of doing the Mog Tones solo, I'll get you covered. Warrior. I'm stuck on the... Oh, this is not a line of sight. Okay, wait, this is a line of sight. Welcome back to the ads, guys. I appreciate your patience. We have moved on, and we are now setting up our warrior file, which you'll see the continuation of this on Sunday. Sunday's when I'll be doing this run. Is there an easy way to farm EO, farm soul? Like, technically, yes, Doxus. In 21 to 30, just like Heaven on High, it's like a copy-paste. Just like Heaven on High. You can get +1/+1 guaranteed, and the potsherd guaranteed when you clear that floor. Of course, like, it's not as easy because the enemies they have more HP pools and they take longer to kill. But for all intents and purposes, it's still the same process. So. Not the exit. Actually a long 14 seconds. I don't know if I'll have enough here. Oh, I do have my potion. I can use my potion. But I really gotta get them gathered so I can get the thing in. Maybe Code EO gave you decent XP up to 100. I think funny enough, I think it gives you decent XP, but it's just not going to be comparable to doing a dungeon. I mean, even like running Boja, I think maybe Boja is probably a faster amount of XP than running Eureka Orthos, to be honest, even with 4 people. I think EO is, it's a lot more intensive in terms of what you need to do to clear the dungeon and everything. I think that also comes into it. Like, if you could speedrun it in, like, record pace, then it would be better XP, but can't really do that in here. Speed AO is it is a pain. It does make it more fun from personal experience, but it is still a pain in the ass, especially if you make a mistake. Oh, I get to see if that song's gonna get angry with YouTube at some point. My Final Fantasy VII Remake music is starting to get YouTube angry, and I'm very much disliking this. Hey! Yo, Tamaki, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate that. Yo, cheers, man. For the support, that means a lot. Thank you for the 5 subs to Pyro, to Crabster, to Sia, to Rally to me, and Pixel. Yo, thank you so much. Aw, I appreciate that. Well, the small gift is very appreciated. And it is no problem. I love doing this stuff. I love doing the variety. I love doing the deep dungeon. And I am ready to get busy in Dawntrail, so you're gonna see a lot. We're gonna do a lot in Dawntrail, so, be ready, because we're only just gotten started. Actually really wild to think of it, you know, like, what I have planned for Dawntrail, in terms of how I want to approach deep dungeon content into Dawntrail, it almost feels like it almost feels like I'm doing it for the first time. That's how it really feels like. Even though I've been doing this for like 5.5 years now, it feels like it's all beginning again from the very start, and it feels great. It's so refreshing, you know. I mean, to be fair, I'm gonna start approaching projects very differently with how we handle YouTube and how we handle the streams. No, the streams are pretty much the same. More how we handle YouTube is going to be a little bit adjusted. And I got a lot of things that I want to try, and I think they'll be better, so I'm pretty excited about it. I never thought about doing Dragoon Heaven on High, but it's a lot more fun than I was expecting. I did Heaven on High Dragoon, I think last Monday. And that was, yeah, Dragoon is a blast. It's really, really fun in its current iteration. Now I'm in. Yo, what up, Chloe? Welcome in from probably Ross's stream. I hope you're having a good day. Lone Hero? Aw, let's go, dude. Welcome to the club. Did you just get it? Has it been something you've been sitting on? Congratulations, looking at Ross's zone. Hell yeah, dude. Did you see his 62 death from what I heard? I didn't catch it. I was watching up I think Summerfest at the time, so I didn't have it. I didn't get to catch what happened, but you missed that? Rip. Ripperoonie. Do I have a pudding? No, I don't. There's a clip in Discord. Bloodbath with Dragoon is silly, it's so much fun. Yeah! I think it's one of the better jobs for Bloodbath. You're not dead? What? Doing Bloodbath with Dragoon just gave me... I just thoroughly love the OGCD weaving for Dragoon, you know? It's so satisfying. That's one reason I liked it in PvP too. Because PvP, it just felt like once you start going ham on someone, it's like a relentless attack until they either die or they manage to escape. And every time I kind of think about it, it does tempt me just to like do a run of Frontlines or something. Because it was a lot of fun. 5? Is 5 enough? I guess I can take the 2 pots. Ninja, your favorite? If only I can get better at Ninja. I need to get better at Ninja because I kept, like, I was getting the assassination kills, but I felt like my damage was just not high enough. And it wasn't pleasing me because I was outputting so much damage on Dragoon. So I wanted to, like, try to match it, but... And I tried working on Ninja. I'm just still not really that good at it yet. It was my main in PvP when I was spamming it. Dragoons are a menace in PvP. Hell yeah, I am. I'm in, I do damage, I'm out. It's great. The funniest death I had one time in PvP, it was like a big brain play. So like, Dragoon's backflip can break mine. But I was up against almost an alliance. One of them home ganged, and I backflipped, but the second home ganged. And I'm like, well, you got me. Can't do much about that. Have to take that just to get to me, because my instant reaction is the backflip. Boom, ba-dum, boom. Okay, my strength is down, but my steel is up, so this makes this smoother. Hey yo, more steel. amazing, that's nice. Rip. Only thing I could ever get to work on, says Bionic, in PvP was Gunbreaker with tank junction and nothing else. That's fair. I never did current tank in Crystal Conflict era, but question, do you need to lust 190 boss? I'm assuming the question is in the context of machinists, right, Nero? Let me just make sure of that, because do you need to lust in the 190 can be different. It can be different depending on what job you're asking me. Okay. So, from my knowledge of machinists, if you do not lust the boss, you're probably looking at maybe a 6.5 to 7.5 fight. So, in theory, no, it's not required. And completely understandable if you're terrified of lusting. So, one thing that you could do. Okay, wait. Let me phrase this in a couple ways so you can think about it if you want to make this decision. I'll reiterate the fact that I understand that lusting on 190 can be very tricky. I mean, the way I lust is pretty set in terms of like the strategy, and if you mess it up a little bit, it could go very south. So one justification for lusting there is that you're probably not going to lust on 191. So you may think about dumping the lust on 190 just because. Whatever, like, the likelihood of you using in 191 is extremely limited, so on and so forth. So with that being said, what you can do with Lust is you could just do 1 hit, 2 hit, maybe even max out at 3, and then dump it. Even if you get, like, even a single vulnerability, you're still talking about a fight that's 10% faster for 90 seconds, you know what I'm saying? So, it won't be a terrible idea, nor a waste, to just even hit 1 or just 2 hits and then dump the Lust. Especially when you're talking about progging, especially when you're talking about, I'm not comfortable with it, you know what I mean? So consider that as a thing. The strategies that I employ, again, like for lusting, it's pretty much done in a way that I've gotten consistent with. And there's like a really like big cadence to it, like I potion here, I lust here, I hit the ad, I get, you know, uptime that way, so on and so forth. But it is difficult to pull off. Especially when you're not used to it. I understand that. Honestly, that really gives me a good idea too. To like maybe present it like that in like 2 different ways. So like one that maybe is like more uptime and efficient, the other where it's like not. Even like I may maybe pull off a run where I do it without the lust at all. But coming back to the original question, without a lust, it should take you between 6.5 and 7, especially with the way Machinist is nowadays. So you should be definitely fine with it. And we're talking like within the strength steal, right? Like all you need to care about is, do I kill 190 within 8 minutes? And yeah, you will. You should be. You will. No, you will. Confident. Confident. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I just don't remember doing it very often, but Machinist pumps out so much damage, you know, it'll make up for it, no problem. Maybe nasty. My run so far, no problems here. We set up a Paladin run to 41 today, because I'm doing that on Monday. So now we're setting up file number 2, which is Warrior. So, oh, how was your run? I think you were doing some runs today, right, B-Nasty? You went live earlier. Hope you had a good one on your end. I only skipped it on my Machinist file because I had messed it up in the previous run of Red Mage. Gotcha. That's fair. You know, those are the individual fears that can come into play with runs like that. You know, you could even argue that it's an irrational fear to some extent. Because, like, more times than not, it really shouldn't be a problem, but you have to factor in those subjective challenges that some people have, you know? Like, I can tell you that pulling a Frost Dragon with Strength and Steel is perfectly fine if you have full burst, but like, how many people are really gonna want to do that? I can tell you that you can kill an Anzu with Strength only, but like, do you really want to do that? Like, there's a separation between things that you can do, and you would do, and you should do. I think there's still value to showing that that something is possible. And then from there, it becomes a judgment call if that's something you want to engage with, right? It's like, okay, let me hit a luring trap and then survive without a witching. Like, do you really want to go through that? You know, that's the kind of thought process that can occur. And that's why I've always loved this content, you know? Is because there isn't really a solid answer to almost all situations. There is a multitude of branching decision-making that you would have. But the reality of the matter is, as long as you make it out alive, that's really all that matters. As long as you kill the boss, that's all that matters. Lobo, 3 more weeks? Exactly 3 more weeks. Are you ready, Lobo? I got interrupted trying to Vercure and then died. Classic Red Mage. sounds like classic Red Mage to me. I was streaming Yo and made it to 93. Okay, good, and that's an exclamation point, so that means that was at least a nice PB for you. So good to see it. Congratulations. Let's go, dude. Saw the Media Tour for Viper. What do you think, Lobo? I haven't seen too much of Media Tour outside of like snippets and pieces of it. I'm like straddling that line of like, well, I want to experience it myself kind of idea, but I have no problem talking about it. You guys aren't gonna spoil me if you want to talk about it, so. How you thinking? Makes you think of Samurai Kinda when it was released. Oh, no, you don't have to hold your tongue. Discussions in chat is very different from seeing visuals in this context, you know? I think the only thing I don't want to know about is the first dungeon. Don't tell me much about that. The only thing I want to know about the first dungeon is if the music is badass. But like, a lot of the things are like, out of context, you know, so it's all good. You can talk about it as long as you want. I actually would like to know, like, you know, stuff like that, so it's all good. Hey Octavarius, Viper gets a 20 yalm, but isn't the gap closer for Viper like Thunderclap from Monk, right? It goes to a target. Last favor is 80. Kind of annoyed with myself for dying to go through swipes. I get a next. They're fast. They're like honestly a little faster than what they are in Heaven on High, so it's all good. It's okay. Next time. Yes. Yeah. There's gonna be some shenanigans you can do with the dash. You can do landmines with Thunderclap and Sage Icarus. It's just not the easiest. And like really, I would say not entirely practical unless you want style points, but it can be done. Which means I'll probably try to do it on Viper because I want to show off. Hey, this is what you can do on Viper. Check it out. Like we have to do it. You know, it has to be something we just freaking like do it, make a short out of it, post it on Twitter. You know, all that stuff. It's fun to execute, but it's just not. The setup is like really dumb. Viper has 2 self buffs and an enemy deal. Like, and that's where, like, you were kind of saying, like, it's similar to Samurai, because Samurai has 2 self buffs, too. Like, it's a damage thingy, and then it's a speed thingy, right? Haste thingy. Heaven on High, good for XP, 70 to 90. Yeah. Heaven on High is ideal for 61 to 70. After that, like, you could get levels 71 to 80, but if you're strictly going for experience in Heaven on High, I honestly don't recommend it. Like, you'll probably do better than just, like, spamming dungeons 70 plus. And especially when you get to 80, you'd want to do more like Boja. Boja is definitely going to be better XP, and it's going to be popular. I think it's popular now, but that would be more popular to do like Boja, would be faster. Not sure. So yeah, Heaven on High, not really great strictly XP. Now, Jorbat, if you're going for like solo attempts, you know, if you're like trying to get the title, your XP will start to, you'll get like a decent amount of XP, so you'll get it in the back end. But yeah, not for a strictly farming situation. I wouldn't recommend it. It's good to have after a certain point. Bosha's way better. What Bosha starts at? Does Bosha start at 71, or does it start at? I guess it starts at 71, right? Yeah, I guess it starts at 71. So I guess you can just go in at 7. Yeah, okay, yeah, just do Bosha at 71. Yeah. Kind of forgot the starting level for that thing. Yeah, 71. And when Samurai was released, they had a Slashing Bone, while Viper has a Death's Door like Reaper. Gotcha, gotcha. Well, that'd be fun to keep up her enemy. Oh, Kendra! Yo, Kenda, thank you for the 17 months of continued support. Another month, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, Kenda. I don't know why my alerts are so slow, though. Can't wait to see the flood of Vipers, the Pictos, and Zadnar. Yeah. Definitely. It's gonna be busy there. It's 71, you just feel more squishy because of eye level. Gotcha. Me and the waifu are leveling Viper, Picto, and release. I don't know exactly where we're gonna do it. What's the goal? Are you trying to aim for like main story situation? Or are you only hitting a certain level? So I would imagine hitting like 90 would be a Zadnar situation. MSQ is them. Yeah, like I would probably have like, you know, maybe a head start with like Wondrous Tales, get started there, get a couple Beast Tribes, and then fill out the rest with probably Zadnar. Or do like dungeons together, but it would be better to have the healer. Because the hard part, if you have 2 other friends to cover the tank and healer, that'll be good. Because if you try to dungeon with Viper Picto, that's where it could get tricky. And that's also, by the way, another reason why Zadnar would be superior in this very specific respect. Because you don't have to deal with queues. You can have a ton of people doing the bait, and that's okay. Whereas if you have 2 DPS trying to queue up in a dungeon, good luck queuing for a dungeon, you know? But if you have 2 friends that can cover tank and healer, then you can just spam dungeons, and dungeons should still be faster in the grand scheme of things. But that's why Zadnar would probably stand out, because of the non-issue of the queue system. I thought there were only 3 deep dungeons. PoTD, there are only 3, yeah. Yeah, Bosha is a field operation open world like the original Eureka. If you have done Eureka. If you want to hang around, I can show it to you because I have that thing unlocked. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Jorban, let me know. Hang around for like 15 minutes and I'll show you the area if you want to see it. Wouldn't EO be good? It would be okay. Yeah, but I don't know if people are gonna spam EO for XP. You can check, but look, my personal bias to that thing, EO is not really... EO is weird, I think. Like, it's gonna be more frustrating to try to XP in there. Even if it's good for XP, it would be miserable for hard pass. That's what it is. Like, I don't want to sound like it's like a no-go Gracias, you know? Like, I don't want to say that that isn't a possibility. I mean, EO is kind of like designed for 81 to 90, but honestly, the experience in there is kind of ass to try to go for leveling. Like, I don't think people really use it a lot for leveling. I just want to set the expectation. Like, I would never go into... I would rather do Zadnar if I had to go to 90, personally. Even as much as I love Deep Dungeon, I'm not going in there. You need people who are good at EO. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, Calinus, thank you for the... What happened to Kenda's thing, dude? Are my subs just not working? Well, I recognize it, so thank you for the 17 months. Ross, what are you doing for for when Dawntrail drops. What are your plans? I don't think I've ever really asked you. I mean, you probably talked about it, but I don't think I really saw what you mentioned. What are you up to? Are you gonna be part of like Savage Wilkers or something, or you're on Deep Dungeon focus? Nothing because there is a family. Oh, rip, dude. Okay, well. Grumpy Ross goes to family reunion. News at 12. Well, okay. Well, you're gonna come back and play the game. So what's the plan? I guess the original question still comes there. Like, are you gonna is your priority Savage? Like, are you gonna be waiting, or are you gonna just like chill with Deep Dungeon? Just casual week 1, getting cool. But okay, fair. Yeah, because like I would like to think like that's gonna be a whole thing because you gotta cut through the story, you gotta make sure that you're ready, you gotta gear up. So there's a whole process for trying to get raid ready. We got a 12 bag. Okay, that's completely fair. Wow, it skipped Kenda's sub, dude. It went straight to Quads.
When I start streaming DT, I'm going to do Palace Picto, and as of now I refuse to see the skills of Picto or Viper. Want to go in completely blind.
I respect the Quad. 49! Look, 51 months. Quadratini. He streams Deep Dungeon. Long-time member of this community. Long-time sub of this channel. There you go. You got someone else who you can pop the tab open if you want to watch. Exactly. Have a lot of prep work for Savage, yeah, and yeah, like I still kind of like, I have a good understanding of like that process, so I get it. Makes sense. I hope you have fun, Ross. Would love to hear your war stories, since I don't get to experience that. I was gonna stream tonight, but need to chill. I'm playing. Ooh, how is it? Hope you have fun there. Go. Hello, how you doing? I'm stuck on 171 to 200. Any good palm combos to save time? Machinists. Palm combos to save time, 171 to 200, huh? Give me a moment. I seem to have stepped on a trap, so give me 1 second here. What is this? Oh, that's the alteration. So like, what I like to typically do on Machinist for like starting at 171, first and foremost, pop the raising. Like, let's get that out of the way, right? I mean, that's common sense, but sometimes it's worth mentioning because some people just like go straight to strategy and they just forget about the fact they need to do raising. Hatterine, thank you for the follow. So that's the starting thing. Now, I like to try to get through 171 to at least 176 without using too many palms. Like, use the ones that you get to. Like, you want to get the chest, see what the chests have to give you. Usually at about 176, you're starting to look at Apes, Anzus, so on and so forth, where, you know, for someone going through the first time, that may be a steal situation. You can get through without steal and avoid the Anzu, but if you end up popping a steal because you're a little bit afraid, make sure that you get the most out of the steal. Maybe pop a strength with it, try to get through the floors. I like combining flights with a strength steal only because you can get through the floors faster. But try to be conservative 171. Then you have Behemoth. Hopefully you get through Behemoth, okay? So Behemoth exists. Boom, you get through Behemoth. Now in 181 plus, it's kind of a little bit more the same. You want to be conservative, although you're more than likely going to be having to utilize rages towards the end because the enemies are going to be a lot harder. So you kind of have to concede that. So we like to do the double dips, like 186, 187, so on and so forth. Alterations also later on, because alterations later are really good to change the enemies from a worm and a frost dragon and a scorpion and 2 mimics. And you could fight mimics instead of them. A popular strategy for 181 that a lot of people do, that I always phrase it like that a lot of people do, because you don't typically see me do it, but I'm not against it. They like to use flights early. You know, 181, flight 82, flight 83, get the flights down to 1 or 2. Because you're going to reduce the enemies on those floors, and those enemies are a lot easier to kill in general. So you get the speed up by having a smaller floor, and you get to be ahead of time, which is really nice. And then, of course, then you get to 190. And then 191, you know, for what I like to do in 191 in general, I like to hold on to the steal as long as I can. The reasons why you'd be forced into a steal is like, okay, well, I only have like 2 Serenity, I get hit with like a Gloom Floor, and it's like 192. So I want to maybe steal here so I can try to stay alive kind of thing. But I try to hold on to that steal to the very end when I need to do like resolution plays, rage plays towards the end if you have any. And then it's a lot more less conservative for your palms. Like, I would say you should be willing to push your strength to like 1 or 0 since you're trying to empty the bucket, you know? Another suggestion is putting up a resolution in like 191 to 193 if you see a lot of patrols, which is something I like to suggest, because otherwise you'd be dodging patrols for years just to get through those floors. So the resolution there is not bad. I usually give a head count of like 3 or more. If I see 3 floating around, then I'm probably gonna do a reso. But yeah, I guess that's a good starting bit. I hope you caught up with that. I mean, you could just look at the VOD later. The VOD will be on Twitch, so if you need to like review any of the whatever the hell I said, then check it out there. But yeah, I hope that's a decent starting position for you. And if you have any more questions within that, just please ask away. I'm here for like a couple hours, so. Let me catch up in Twitch over here. Quad says, that being said, after his response of saying that he's been playing 6 Pixel Remaster, I have a Black Mage and a Dancer file at 171. I think I should prioritize Black Mage, okay? The whole point of this group is to have fun, should be a good time. Good to hear, Ross. I love how casually he says that. I seem to have stepped on the trap 1 second. Well, look, you know, I have to give some attention, you know, need to pay attention I don't die. It's a simple trap, you know. Hold on. Hope the new Savage raids are fun. I really hope that there is a shift in terms of how they do the battle design, you know? Oh, you know what's one question I have for you guys? Hold on. Going back to the brand new Dawntrail dungeon, I was saying I don't want any spoilers, don't tell me like what it's about, don't tell me the boss, don't tell me... You know, there's things I would rather discover with the new dungeon, but to those people who watched the media coverage on the first dungeon, I had one question, which was how was the music? But the second question I'm very curious about, which I should know the answer for, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Are we still dealing with the same formula? Is it still trash, trash, mini, trash, trash, mini, trash, trash, ball? Because I highly doubt that's changing, but god, would I love it to be different. Well, shit. As he did say, they're shifting things a bit. It's also possible without a healer. Well, I mean, you know, it's fun to dream. It is fun to dream. I love dreaming. Dreaming is great. God, you know, they said creative unit business is working on 2 games. I swear to God, if those 2 games come out and it's gonna be a dungeon with trash, trash, mini trash, I'm gonna flip the table, dude. I'm gonna flip a fucking table. 2 new games. Hey, here's the same formula from 14. Welcome. Because 16 had that formula, by the way. A little spoilers, but I mean, it's not much of a spoiler, but when you went to a dungeon in 16, guess what? It was trash, trash, cutscene mini, trash, trash, cutscene mini, trash, trash, long-ass cutscene into a boss. It's the same exact formula. I think, I'm not gonna say where, but I distinctly remembering when I got to a certain point of 16, I remember, like, I think I said it out loud, I'm like, oh, this is basically 16. I mean, this is basically 14 grid. I have no expectation of changing this trend. Maybe 8.0. I just hope we don't get EO 2.0, right? I'll just be happy if we don't get EO 2.0. Then I'll be a happy camper. Didn't we realize that in 16? Oh, don't worry, I did. The first thing I realized in 16. You know why? You know why, Zevin? You know why I realized that? Because I always joke about the very generic JRPG meme of that when you get to a save point right before an arena, it always means you're dealing with a boss, right? So like I create these kind of structures about how I'm about to approach a dungeon, and like what are my expectations? Like, am I expecting a boss here? And it very quickly, I realized quickly that we were onto that pacing of, you know, oh okay, well here's a mini boss. I guess we're dealing with 2 trash now. Oh look, another mini boss. Okay, 2 more trash coming up, and then I guess it's the boss. Like it came that formula. So. You don't want to know when we fight Xenos? No, I don't want to. No, I actually don't want to know when we fight Xenos. I hope I can survive no spoilers on the story while we're doing our deep dungeon thing, because I don't know if I'll have time to hit the story, like, very much at all. How funny would it be to change the dungeon formula to make the first raid fight pack of 2 ads and boss appears? You know what? I think that would be great. I think that would be fantastic. I just want dungeons less artificial walls. ARR, some others, like Mount Gull, can be fun with big goals. You know, Hatterene, I would just accept anything different, you know? Just something that isn't predictable, that's all. Is Palace the hardest of the 3? Oh, I love this! Class participation, guys! Chat, is Palace the hardest of the 3? You tell me. In my opinion, as a new runner, I think so, yes. I think it's the hardest of the 3. It's the longest of the 3 for sure, says Captain Dylan. I think for me, the reason why Palace hits the hardest for a new runner, it's Behemoth exists, Godfather exists, it's 200 floors, it's a marathon. And that's why to me it's up there for the hardest of the 3. I mean, there's a variance other ways of what you can approach with it, like, you know, depending on how much information you study, depending on so on and so forth, you know, the job that you pick can all determine different factors and variables of the difficulty of it, but I think in the general scope of the 3, I would put Palace as probably the hardest, yeah, to get through. I don't think most of the enemies themselves are that bad until post 150, but the redoing, if you mess up, hurts more, says Silver. I still get some anxiety for 191 before going in, says Omniroz, and Omniroz has multiple clears under his belt. He's cleared all the time. We each talked with Yoshi P about this trash boss style. What did they say? Ganu, what did they say, dude? What is the response? The stakes are the highest for sure in Palace. Yeah, so hopefully those responses gave you a good response, Go-Go. Kind of agree with all of them, to be honest, but hey, there's a strength. I pulled a lot. I don't know. I didn't need to pull this much. Also good to see you, Ganu. Hope you're having a good day today. Hey Kenjin, how you doing? Welcome. Wasn't there a strength somewhere? I could have sworn there was a strength somewhere. The preach question, I think that was when Yoshi went into wanting to use Dawntrail as a whole to try and break new things of the safe patterns they feel stuck in. I think was when Yoshi went into wanting to use... Oh, okay, so then the follow-up question was, are you going to... something about the trash. So what is the response to that? Also, follow-up question to you guys. Have you guys seen any other news on Deep Dungeon from any of the creators? I haven't seen anyone bring up anything. I would like to think if they did, we'd find out. The only bit that I saw was from Mr. Happy, who asked something about Deep Dungeon on his interview with Yoshi P. You know, honestly, you could always rely on Happy to cover us for Deep Dungeon. He did it last media tour for Endwalker, you know? You can always rely on him to at least represent our community. You've only seen Happy? I've only seen Happy too, yeah. He reiterated that it was a maybe. I mean, that honestly, like, I can see that being a maybe because of the way they worded it. Like, he was, like, from my interpretation of how he was explaining it, he was going off of, like, the whole, you know, new plans for Deep Dungeon wording. So I get that. I mean, maybe also because he wouldn't, like, Yoshi P wouldn't just give, like, a straight answer, you know? But having this template helps them create dungeons that would take around 15 minutes to complete and be better coordinated during the development team. I guess. Ooh! But the website says new deep dungeon. But I think the JP translation does still say new plans for deep dungeon, to be fair. Like, I think in, like, French and English, it's new deep dungeon, but I'm on the side of it being a new deep dungeon, you know. I personally would go with that wording that it says new deep dungeon. Silent opens to create more templates, like having a dungeon with more bosses, no trash. Watch it be, but I didn't want to spoil myself too much. The happy video only thing is fun. Yeah, Kenjin, I appreciate that too. Ooh, we need more guys. We need more guys asking about deep dungeon. Maybe next time. Yeah, no, me too. I mean, honestly, like, I'm happy we got the one. You know what I mean? I'm happy we got the one question about Deep Dungeon. You're probably gonna see more stuff in, like, 7.1 when they, like, start development on it and everything. Yeah, that's what a lot of people expected. How many floors? Wait, let me kill this boss first. And then let's chat a little bit, shall we? Oh, that's not what I want to do. Okay, hold on. let me catch up here with the music off. How many floors would I hope to get in the new Deep Dungeon? How many would I hope? Honestly, now I would hope for 200, but we're probably gonna get 100 because 100 is like the sweet spot, I think, and I think 100 is what you would want to do for the populace. Like you're not doing Deep Dungeon for Deep Dungeon soloers, right? As much as we'd like that to happen, you're not doing it for the soloing community. Now it'd be good if they can be able to cater to everyone, especially the hardcore guys who do solo. So you have to cater to the grander audience, and I think 100 is the very, very good sweet spot for everyone. But I would love 200. Lexi wants 500. Look, I'm gonna do 500. I mean, it'll be very fun to do that much on stream. That's for sure. I mean, can you imagine the DDoS dodging we'd have to do to make sure that we finish the damn run? Great. Okay. Wasn't directly about Deep Dungeon, but there was a question about any plans to push skill to lower levels for new player accessibility of level squish, which isn't a new Deep Dungeon, but would massively impact it. Wait. Hold on. Wasn't directly about Deep Dungeon, but there was a question about any plans to push skill to lower levels for new player accessibility or level squish, which isn't a new Deep Dungeon, but massively impacted. And Yoshi P basically said may end up having to do a level squish. Not planning to rework or move skills down lower level. May end up having to do a level squish. I mean, that's gonna have to happen, right? I guess at some point. Intro at 70. Yeah, to bring... I mean, they did that with Shinten. I mean, Shinten's an example. They brought Shinten down from 61 to 51. So you have things like that. So... J-Mo, pretty sure Appy asked about Deep Dungeon. Maybe I missed the conversation. Yes. Oh, yeah. Was he the only person that asked? It seems like that, J-Mo. I hope you're having a wonderful day, by the way, J-Mo. It seems like he's the only one from what I have seen from people talk about. So bless Mr. Happy. Check out his stuff, guys. He's a cool dude. Be sure to watch his streams in the morning. No, he's a cool dude. Definitely, you know, he like I said, last expansion, he did a whole thing about theory crafting and like Reaper and Deep Dungeon. He did a video on that when the Media Tour came in. Like he's cool about that. So, what happened to the survey about you a long time ago? Is that video still in development? It's hit a standstill because I had one of my mods try to work on it and they haven't been able to work on it in a while. I mean, I still have that information. I did put out a tweet a while back with the stats and the charts for Aganu, but we haven't parsed the open-ended responses yet. So I try to still contact my buddy about that, but for now that's on a standstill. Unfortunately, it's just like life happened and it was a big project, and you know, he was gonna help me with it, but things happened. So thank you for bringing that up, by the way. 500 is too much unless it's way faster. But this expansion, it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, we still have the data, so it'd be still good to have it. At least it's saved somewhere. This expansion, 8 out of 9, but not for DT with the skill stat squish. He recently said in Mediator that there's a possibility we get skill points we can use to upgrade one or another skill in the future instead of leveling up to 100. But as an example, not that they're going to do that 100%. I can't see them doing that in this game. What is that going to do to balance it? Like, the meta is going to be dumb. I mean, that would be good for, like, other content, but when your main content is raiding, that seems like... It almost seems like a moot point. I mean, maybe you'd have meta... You either would have... Maybe I'm being pessimistic about this. You would either have a meta for the actual job for a majority of the fights, or you'd have a meta for each fight individually. But there can't... It's almost like I can't even envision creativity, because it's like... Everyone would want to optimize it to its maximum potential, so people will get weird about it, especially when you talk about meta. Stop playing Endwalker. Sig, where's your Red Mage guide to Deep Dungeon? Is that coming out in 2 weeks? I'm really anticipating that to come out in like 2 weeks. Like some Deep Dungeon guy come. The day before Dot. Sick. Yes! Is it the Wednesday? The Thursday? Guys, we're gonna have another Sig 9 TV guide for Deep Dungeon when it's maintenance. Problem with that kind of system is that there's always inevitably the good choice for like rating if you don't pick that precisely. In paper, it sounds really nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's just in this game in particular, something like that, I can't see it working the way you'd want it to work, right? You know? I think they already min-max, everyone runs it, so it's rendered... Precisely. It's just, this is the game that it doesn't work. Like, something like, if you do that in, like, WoW or something, which probably they have in WoW, it makes more sense. Or, like, you do it in Final Fantasy XI, it makes more sense. But, like... Now, okay, flip side, though. If you do a content that then requires that to happen, that's essentially within its own environment, that would make sense. But there's no way you could do it in like regular content. It just wouldn't. There's no way. People would just have metas and just work on the meta. It would not go the way of like creativity. God, I would hope so. Yeah, but except yeah, maybe the 50 dungeon. Yeah, when they finally change all of the formula, yeah, that'll be great. 150 says Go-Go would be the sweet spot for floors. 150, you know, that'll be a nice curveball. You know, that would be a nice curveball. Instead of it being 200 to 100, you make it a 154. I mean, no one says you can't do it, right? I mean, it doesn't have to round up to 100 floor. Okay, ads are going out. Thank you guys for watching. Our goal with the Warrior is 120, and then if I have some extra time, we will work on the Astro file. So BRB, see you in a little bit. Actually, let me read Kaiser's thing and then respond to it, and then probably go and hit the ads. For example, for what I understood, it's like you level up the skills, for 10 levels later, everyone ends with everything. You just move the 10 levels of your job to upgrading skills. Not like you have to choose one skill and leave the others out. But if you're just using an example, okay. Maybe the jobs change into profession, back to FF1 roots. We can all hope for something cool. Alright, ads going out. See you in a bit, guys. Okay, let's continue. Looks like Finn did a 5-hour video and skills Deep Dungeon not directly related. Yes, he did. He did it on stream. He did it on that day that the media stuff came out. And he probably just uploaded that video. That's probably what he did. One of the steals. That's fine too. Is that an Anzu? Anzu. Yay, strength came back. Okay, this should be fine. Wolf. Tiger. Oh, nice. Well, worked out for me. Switching. Wait, oh, I'll take it. I can go really ham and not worried about dying now. Is cool. Oh, was that the answer behind me? Something was behind me. And what is this? I don't remember. Oh, there's a witching? I had a witching? No, an alteration. Witching was in the other room. Okay. There was an answer behind me. I need more water. But regardless, by the way, regardless of like some of what we hope for the stuff to come in, which we probably won't be getting, I am still pretty excited about Dawntrail regardless. I mean, I guess I'm excited just because of the content that I have lined up, you know? The way I want to approach it, I'm like looking at it as a literal fresh restart. So I guess it doesn't really matter what happens, I'm just going to have fun with it. But I do hope that things are going to be different in the next expansion. Things that aren't predictable. Like one thing we were talking about before a couple streams ago was the idea that they will put expert crafts into raiding BIS, you know? That'll never happen, but man, that'll be cool if it does. Like if you have to do expert crafting for like the gear that Savage Raiders are gonna go for, I might go back into crafting. But for now, I have no desire for crafting. Welcome back to the ads, guys. No desire for crafting whatsoever because it just bores me. Unfortunately, it took me 8 years to come to that conclusion. But I mean, it was good for the first 3 years. After that, it was just wishy-washy. I'll be happy if they keep getting more experts in the same way. I think there were more things that you could do expert crafts with, right, Zephyrin? Like, they actually did introduce more crafts that required expert. I would say that was cool. I mean, yeah, you know, honestly, completely forgot about Island Sanctuary, and and how we had that material that made a lot of people money. That was pretty cool. That's a pretty niche market, but it worked out. Made 150 per patch, just a nice extra. Well, look at you, man. Yeah. I didn't get to make that much. I think I only made like 20 or something. I was late to the party, to be honest. I think, didn't Finn made bank too, right? Did he make some bank on that? I forget who else. It was you, it was Finn. I think there's like one other person where you guys are just making bank on the Island Sanctuary stuff. God, you know, it's so funny. I completely forgot about the fact that Island Sanctuary was Endwalker, wasn't it? And the amount of hype that Island Sanctuary originally had, and like no one talks about it now. I mean, when I did Island Sanctuary, like, I mean, initially it was fine, but man, that dried out real fast. Holy moly. That dried out real fast. Typical rage with no knockback. It was Spreadsheet Simulator. No, it was, but it worked out nicely doing something I liked and profiting. For sure. 3 rages, great. problem is I like crafting, but it's kind of useless because I have way too much skill. That's where I'm at too, Kenjin. That's also a contributing factor as to why I basically have finished and like just gave up on crafting. I did originally do crafting because it was my method of earning money, and that was where a lot of my motivation was. It's like, okay, well, if I keep up with crafting, you know, I can make a lot of money by the next patch. But I have more than enough money in this game now. I don't need money at all. Like, and especially like I sell a mount from Deep Dungeon, I'm up like 10 million. It's, you know, it's the least of my concerns. And like I don't raid. I used to help one of my friends for their raid teams, like crafted some of their stuff for them, which was really cool. I don't do that anymore. I'm like a free agent who doesn't really craft. So. I love this song. Zevran mentioned to me that it was Octopath 2, right, Zevran? Or I think it was you, that they added a boss to Octo 2 in the PC version. I wonder what song they're using for that. This is one of the songs for the super bosses. It kind of would be tempting. Ooh, have you investigated it? Did you see what it was? I don't mind if you tell me what it is, if you did it already. I'm probably never gonna get to it, but it's tempting though. It is tempting. Tempting to like hop onto Octo 2 and just see if I can get there and see what it's all about. Honestly, oh man, honestly, I got a couple days to kill before we have to really go deep into Dawntrail. Is it multiple fights? There's 3? Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe I don't want to know, because now I'm like convincing myself maybe I pop into Octo 2 for like a bit and see what's going on there. Huh. I'd have to reinstall the game. I think I did delete the game because I had to make space for like rebirth. I don't know, it's a very unlikely possibility since I'm so stuck in Wuwa right now. Man, that's intriguing. Oh, my steel went out. Haven't been able to play much of anything this week. When it dropped and they got rolled. Oh, I'm in trouble because it did take me a while to beat Caldera, and I don't have any super strat like some of the runners have for Caldera, so I'd have to do it like normally. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do. I wasn't really geared for Caldera too. I just got through Caldera. I started creating PS for the extreme mounts. That if the mount drops, I pay each member X amount of guild that they get it. So Gil is like a time saver fee. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Fair. I respect it. See, I don't do a lot of those collecting, so it's like something I don't have to worry about, but I can see that being something you take advantage of. Another raising. Okay, this is as far as I need to go. I need to check the bronze chest though. Are you? Oh, I'm not out. Rip. I should have taken the the bird with me. Hey, Teardrops, how you doing? Hold on. Does it matter which boss skill you want to start the rush? Okay, so the short answer is no, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you take advantage of of it doing a skill, because it has to finish the skill before it can get into Meteor. Now, a few little bits of details. Some people have thought about, oh, what if I push Behemoth while he's walking across the arena? The thing with that is, it's technically still within the idea of pushing him during something, but you have to chase him. That's one thing. But two, if you push him under threshold while he's running, he'll go straight into Meteor and not do Trounce. So ideally, if you want to do a Trounce thing, you want to wait for him to actually cast Trounce and then you push in. The reason why Teardrops, I always do it on a very specific pattern, which is always with the double Charybdis, is because with the double Charybdis, it's predictable. It's a predictable pattern. He always will do one, and he will always immediately follow with the second. Whereas if you try to do it for a Thunderbolt, or a single Charybdis, or a Trounce, you're kind of contending with him doing auto attacks. And you're kind of relying on the fact that he doesn't randomly decide to do an extra auto attack right before he does his ability. So there's a little bit of, like, you know, wait period there, and a little bit of a touch and go feel kind of thing to see if he's gonna do it. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's not to say it's wrong. I mean, if you can pull it off, then it's fine. It's just, to me, doing it on the double Charybdis has consistency to it, and that's why I prefer to do it there. Hopefully that makes sense. Very much appreciated. I'm doing great today. I had a lot of success in Withering Waves today, and I'm very happy about that. I'm gonna have the weekend pretty much chill, and I'm very happy about a chill weekend. And we're here playing 14, and I'm with you guys, so... the answer is yes, but also no. Look, the Behemoth is very loose. There's no real strict thing. It's just, you know, conceptually speaking. But I think a lot of times that question comes up because I will always do it on a very specific part of its rotation. So it's a fair question, you know? Then you'll see, like, someone else do it at some different part of the rotation. Or some different part of the fight. And so you kind of wonder, like, okay, well, not everyone's doing it the same, so, you know, what's the deal? And I think that's just a completely fair question. You know? Like for instance, if the strategy was so strict, everyone had to do it at exactly the same point, there wouldn't be a debate. That's just like, okay, do it here because everyone else does it, but that's not the case. Literally watch anyone else, it'll probably be different than how I do it, you know? So, and that's also, again, the beauty of Deep Dungeon, in my opinion. Is that for a lot of things, there really isn't a set strategy. There are suggestive strategies and ideal outcomes and whatever you want to call it. But kind of at the end of the day, as long as you win, it's a win, that's it. I don't like this paralyzed. Not a problem. That was a great advice, and I didn't even ask the question. Waiting for Trounce can lead to error. And I'm now getting starting on... I'm now going to start on double Charybdis. Hey, no problem. Look, that's one reason, Go-Go, and also Teardrops. It's one reason I really appreciate questions, and you get a couple people who are like, man, you know, I know you probably answered this 1,000 times, but... And to me, it's like... I don't mind responding to it 1,000 times because, well, you just popped in, you didn't hear me say it, so I'm saying it for you and maybe the 5 other people who just popped into chat. And with that in vain, I know we get a lot of lurkers in the channel, and there are people who will not be willing to ask that question because they want to stay kind of behind the scenes. And that's perfectly fine. I'm a lurker, I understand that. But your question, anyone who asks the question, I'm kind of excited to answer because I might be answering this for someone who's just listening, you know? So, yeah. I hope it made sense to everyone listening, essentially. I'm very meticulous with how I do certain things in terms of like my strats and whatnot. So it may like rub off as like something like this is how you're supposed to do it, but really there's a lot of flexibility with deflection. A lot of flexibility. I remember watching someone that thought that you had to start the push when Behemoth was on the south tribune. I think honestly I should probably just explain it better, but these are things I'd love to hear because one way or another things get regurgitated whether you mean it to or not, you know? What's an example of this? I can't think of an example, but there are some examples where, like, some people will take your information literally, and then it kind of means different than kind of maybe how you had originally explained it. You know, it's like... It's hard to think of a current example, but along those lines, you know? That's how I am. I like to lurk in a channel before I start to talk and stuff. I get to feel for the vibe and chat and such. Dude, Lauren, I will be in a channel that I love to watch for hours and I barely say anything unless, like, I get pulled out of lurk or something. I'm pretty bad about it, but... I just love the show. I love the entertainment, you know? For me, the entertainment factor is sitting back and relaxing, not necessarily interacting with the person, depending on what they're doing, though. Does the 90 Behemoth follow the same pattern as the 181, using it for practice? Not really, because I don't think it does a double Charybdis. It only does, like, Charybdis, Thunder, Charybdis, Thunder. It also goes west to east and not south to north, so it is a slightly different rotation. But if anything, the one that's important, I guess, is that it does do the Ecliptic Meteor at 10%, not 15. So if you want to try to practice that way, you could, you know? But something to think about. I like to keep the tabs open for those I watch, but then but when I talk, I'll give paragraphs. Hey, good way to get attention, you know? Meteor's way too slow. Way slower. Meteor is way slower, that's right, because it's only one single meteor. Faye says, I mean, the literal example is someone saying, that's cool, and someone else asking, or are you cold? That's very literal, though. That's fair, that's an example. I mean, yeah, for sure. And also, Phase, to be fair, okay, putting it out there, especially with, I think, our community, you will encounter people who English is not their first language. It's not their second language. So something like that can be interpreted like that only because that's just how they understand the language, right? So you have to also, in my opinion, kind of accommodate for that. It's a very small percentage when you might see that, but that I've seen before. And, like, it's like you're kind of explaining something, or, like, even better, like you tried to say, this was recent. When you say, like, what's a phrase? Oh, I'm like someone is gonna go to sleep. They go, oh, I'm gonna hit the sack. You know, like that's kind of an American English thing. But like for some people, they may not understand what that means. Like, wait, what do you mean gonna hit the sack? Like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck does that mean? But it's like a saying that, like, you know, people of a certain place or whatever can understand, and that plays into it, right? So. It's like, especially when I try to explain things, that's one thing I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at, but I'm also trying to be a little bit, like, hell yeah, dude! I also try to be as respectful to that as possible, that I try to explain it in a way that is hopefully understandable by the most amount of people. And it's one reason I like to explain things in, like, multiple ways. Like, I'll explain, like, one thing, like, 5 different ways just because someone will understand something. The evil node. There we go. That's the rareum I know. Rareum no jobstone. Is this Arcanist? This is Arcanist, right? Hell yeah, dude. Our language gets so many mistranslations. Playing during 1.0 really taught me that when you're using auto-translator when communicating... Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That was my FF11 phase. That was FF11 for me. That, you had to be careful with how you... And not to say that you were going to say something wrong. It's just trying to be able to communicate with, like, someone from Japan with auto-translator. You know? So... But hitting the sack was like doing an exercise like boxers with punching bag. Kaiser could mean that too, but a lot of people, the reference to that, it's like, you're hitting like a haystack or something, like a haystack of where like you would sleep on a haystack, something to that effect. Like a really old phrasing. Like I never say that, but it's something people would say, and that's what they kind of mean, like a sack of like a feather sack or something. But again, that's exactly the example right there, right? I mean, you're listening in, you're like, I don't, what is this? Like hitting the sack? Like you actually gonna like you say like punching or I've heard hitting the bag more than hitting the sack. I hear more hitting the sack. That reminds me, I haven't seen you try turning on the job stone icons for name tags. I'm an OG kind of player, JC, I don't need to know what job I'm playing. I mean, maybe if I'm in a party, but I don't need to know what job I'm playing. That's unnecessary. That's not how you spell bow. There you go. You like him for raid? Did I do Astro already? No, I'm gonna do Astro after Warrior. I don't think I'm gonna finish setting up the Astro file, but we're gonna at least chip away at it because Astro's gonna take quite a while. So, all right, let's continue. Ads on the next set of floors. I did wrap up Paladin. Paladin was easy. It's only 24s, thankfully. Heal. Sure. I would prefer not to take a bomb. If I can avoid it, otherwise I have to single target it down. Another raising? Fog. Also like that you can color the roles now, makes it easier to find the roles during the search menus. There. Where's the chest? The Narnia. I was considering Warrior because the lore is fun, but the base animations just turned me off long term. The short swings. Still trying to look past its sheer power of Warrior. Astro is going to be one of the more difficult ones out there to pick, so just to put it out there, because its damage is abysmal, but hey look, if you want to do Astro, you know, be my guest. Especially it's getting changed in Dawntrail. Is multi-pulling required for DPS too if you're going for scoring? If you're going for scoring, yes, multi-pulling is going to be something you pretty much need to do because you need maximum kill count. At least from what I remember, you will want to do multi-pulling all the way through. I don't know why I just pulled everything on this. I could just walk through this. Like the Gunbreaker for tanking. That's true. You know, for me, I don't like Gunbreaker because I think it's a boring rotation. But Gunbreaker is definitely very good in Deep Dungeon. Can't deny that. I won't deny it. I'm gonna advertise that it's very good in Deep Dungeon. Very strong job. And I kind of like, you know, I kind of like having fun on the job. Warrior's one that I feel like has just been very comfy. I've gotten very used to the job. And even though, like, Berserk is a pain in the ass, it's... I got used to it. It's not a big deal. We say, get into the envelope here for going to bed sometimes. I don't know if that makes any sense in English. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before. That's interesting. Get into the envelope. Yo, Thanatos, what's up, dude? I do get annoyed how easy it is to rip off with anyone with a warrior. Oh, gotcha. Relaxing? Yo, same, dude. It's a vibe. Wait until they hear "let the cat out of the bag." See, that I know. I always thought that that was the most funkier thing concerning learning a language. It's learning those like slang terms or those phrases that if you try to do a one-to-one translation makes no sense whatsoever, right? Like I have an IRL friend who was born and raised in China, Beijing, and had moved to America later in life. And like they would have like these like certain like Chinese jokes that they grew up with that would make no sense. Like they would be like laughing like bawling laughing at this joke. And then it's like I would look at it and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But it makes sense to them just because the way it's phrased, the way you grew up and everything, you know? I always thought that was such a fascinating part of culture in general. Opening a can of worms, exactly, yeah. Here called all the cats just perked up. Yeah, and like saying that to like a group of like European second language English speakers, it's like that just makes no sense, you know? I mean, even like probably there are phrases from America to like London British English where it's just you don't even get it. I know there's lots of phrases in British that make no freaking sense to me either, you know? Although definitely lots of British phrases I won't even understand. But that's what makes it fun. Hey Glam, how you doing? Idioms. Do I want to raise the, do I want to rage again? I'm thinking about it. Only thing is I wouldn't double. What is the last song before the teleport? Bravery defaults battle against the ones bestowed with power? Is it with, no, with stars. Yeah, that one. Bravery default 2. Oh, yeah, Bravery default 2. That's one of the boss themes, really good theme. I like that theme a lot. For PoTD, is there a moment where you want to start conserving your palms? I would say, like, probably 131 would be where you really want to make sure that your palms are starting to get in order. Maybe even like 121. You're still on kind of the floors where you're trying to get through and just, you know, make it to the harder stuff. Once you start stepping into 141, that's where like palm usage might get a little bit more aggressive, depending on how your time's looking. And then from there on, it's hope you don't have to use much as you climb kind of thing. What a wild title for a song. Well, you know. I did, yeah, Zevran told me about the update. 3 more bosses into Octopath. 3 more super bosses into Octopath. I'm like considering hopping into Octo 2, but I don't know if I have time. Time is a challenge at the moment. The rhythm is I like the song a lot. It's a great boss theme. That's why it's on the playlist. Anything on the playlist are songs of games that I have either played. No, they are songs of games I have played. That's the criteria. But also songs that I thoroughly enjoy too. I have to run down the middle to avoid. This song already played, but I like this song a lot. I'll keep it on. Actually, I should play more remake music because YouTube is starting to get angry with YouTube with remake music and it makes me very sad. I need to probably get a couple played more to see if it'll get more angry. Five should be enough. My strength is wearing out. You guys saw the exit in this room over here. I'm gonna have to pull you. Wait, no, I can avoid. We have some idioms. If you translated literally to English, it makes no sense. My English is not the yellow from the egg. My English is not the yellow from the egg, which would mean my English isn't the best. I've never heard that one before. Maybe I have, but very rarely. That's not something I grew up with. I kinda wanna rage. I need to see what the exit is. I'll take you with me. Will you be my friend? Really? I only had 2 Serenities this whole time? Not the exit. That is the exit. That room had more kills though. Oh, well I had a rage anyway. Okay, I'll just use it here. Doesn't matter now. The thought was there, but... it's for you to respawn in the room I was gonna work on. FF11 music. I do wonder how much FF11 music we're going to hear from the Alliance raid. I wonder, like, where they're going to span the FF11 Alliance. I mean, the first one is going to be extremely obvious for those who know FF11. It's just I wonder where they're going to go with the second and third. And I wonder who our guide's going to be. No FF11 music for the FF? Really? Really? I wonder if the guide's gonna be like Krish or something. That'll be good. She would make the most sense, I think. Fan favorite. I think she's capable of hopping dimensions. So it'll work out. I'm expecting a full list of music jobs. What songs do I think? Well, you're probably gonna get Excavard because you're fighting Shadow Lord, so that's going to happen, right? But like, I don't know, maybe like Battle Themed 1 or something? Or like Alliance 1, that would make the most sense right now. Battle Themed 1... Maybe like, oh man, maybe one of the town songs, depending on where they send us, you know? Do they send us to a city-state or something? Yeah, well, Shantoto would be the easy pick if she didn't already show up. Like, I would be shocked if it's Shantoto again, since she, like you said, like, she's already been in the game. But she would be the highest candidate because she's the most craziest of everyone. And she would be the highest possibility of hopping dimensions just simply because she has the ability to do so. Krish, I think, would be the one that would make the most sense, because, again, I think she's more viable to probably be hopping dimensions. Do you think we'll get an updated Shantoto? I think Shantoto's... It's just, they already use Shantoto, and then not to mention, you have, like, the references in the Black Mage thing about Shantoto. I don't know, you would have, like, bigger lore if you bring Shantoto, but, like... I would just think, like, it's probably not her. There's a lot of 11 things. Shantoto, by the way, who Shantoto is, she was a Lalafell version in Final Fantasy XI, and she was like the supreme black mage. Like, she had magic, she had black mage power beyond anyone's comprehension. And she had like, and you know, like kind of the old adage of like, people are really serious or people are real badasses when they like rhyme every time. Shantoto rhymed all of her dialogue, so you knew she was like a badass. But yeah, she had like beyond black mage power. Like, she was strong AF. So for her to be like, you know, in 14 and all that stuff made sense, because she just, it's like, it's basically like, it made very much sense that she would just basically open a portal and come to 14 and like go back home. Like, that would be the most viable ability that she'd be able to have, if that makes sense. Okay. Warrior of Life versus Shantoto. That would be a tough battle. Is she in a good mood or a bad mood? No, she has to rhyme. Remember, she rhymes. I mean, there was one weird lore in the job class stuff with the Ascendium. I still use Shantoto staff in Black Mage Clan. The only thing I know about 11 is Absolute Virtue. There, that's a good thing to know about. Absolute Virtue... Man, the history of Absolute Virtue. Do you know the history of Absolute Virtue, Shadow Dancer? Because that was a very fun history to talk about. The only characters I know from 11 are Shantoto, Fish, and Kamlanov. Yeah. Wait, Kamlanov was in Dissidia? What's up, Nick Serb? Was he in Dissidia? I didn't even know he was in Dissidia, and I played Dissidia. I forgot about him. Did it ever confirm with the relation to 11? No, unless someone covered the Alliance raid, I don't think so, because that's not coming in Dawntrail immediately, right? Something about having to take shifts in the boss. Oh, I never played that far into NT, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so, let me tell you guys gotta sit down, we got a campfire, let me tell you about the history of Absolute Virtue from what I remember it, alright? Don't quote me, because I could be wrong. Anyway. The current... Well, actually, I don't even know what Absolute Virtue currently is, but let's put it this way. Absolute Virtue took so long to figure out how to fight that the only way that the gamers actually learned how to do Absolute Virtue was when the devs at Final Fantasy XI put out a teaser video partially explaining how to do the fight without any voice comp. They're just like, okay, here's a video of this fight. This is what you do to beat it. That's how hard that fight was. And generally speaking, like, I think the strategy for Absolute Virtue at the time that it was, like, finally defeated was that you had to mimic it had the ability to use all of the 2 hours of every single job. And the way that you basically lock him down is that you had to mimic the 2 hour I believe he used by having someone else use their 2 hour so that it would lock that ability from Absolute Virtue, and you would basically go down the line for all the jobs. You have to make sure you have all the jobs, and then you make sure that you match up when he uses it, and then survive all the other mechanics along with it. That's why that fight's insane. And that's why, by the way, a little bit of relation with BA in 14, that if you approach Absolute Virtue without doing anything of the extra bits that you have to do in that combat, he'll have access to all of the things. Benediction, Invincibility, Meteor, so on and so forth. So you have to go out of your way to lock his abilities, therefore he becomes killable for all intents and purposes. So there is a relation to the actual mechanics of Absolute Virtue. Well, that wasn't actually the history of Absolute Virtue. The thing that was hilarious about Absolute Virtue and why eventually FF11 released a video explaining, hey, this is how you're supposed to fight Absolute Virtue, because they had something called the Wall of Justice a number of years ago, because a team in Final Fantasy XI beat Absolute Virtue by glitching it in a wall. Like, they actually, like, I think they positioned themselves in front of a wall, and Absolute Virtue couldn't see the team, and they were able to wail on Absolute Virtue without it doing anything, so it was like a glitch, and they killed it, but it was like, you know, obviously not official. But they called it the Wall of Justice, because it killed Absolute Virtue. The wall glitch? Yeah, because I was explaining, I was explaining the whole thing about, like, from my memory of, like, absolute virtue and, like, all the things that you had to do, and, yeah. I can't complain, we're just setting up files, it really shouldn't go weird. If it goes weird, then I'm really losing my edge, but... Okay, let me catch up here, because I went on a monologue. 12 was how we linked into 14. I'm sure they'll probably explain, like, how we will get 11 into here. I mean, to be fair, 11 has already been here, so I'm probably sure there's some carryover from Shintoto and Iroha and all that stuff. Yeah, Chloe, exactly. Yeah, well, I don't know about multiple times, but they definitely did something because they were cheesing it the first time, yeah. In 14, Shintoto lore is like ancient black magic, practitioner, and black mage quests. There's also an event collaboration. Exactly, yeah. She came to 11 here. I kind of like that, using Reflect as a mechanic to perform essentially reverse psychology. Tank LB3 for a new lines raid is Remembrance Wall of Justice. I remember reading that wild story about... Oh yeah, Pandemonium Morden took like, what, 36 hours of rotating teams to beat the boss? Non-stop fighting for 36 hours, multiple alliance teams had to take shifts into beating that boss, yep. It was definitely a news article about the longest fight in the MMO history, something along those lines. I have thought of trying 11 at some point, but I already play enough 14. I think 11's in a good spot, especially if you want to go in solo and experience the story. Like, it's really in a good spot for that. I was in FF11 when that happened. Wasn't it the level of actually fighting AV? I remember thinking, not sure, a funny glitch for QA to miss. I feel like at the period of that time back, so I was playing too, but I was in an endgame, so I was just getting snips and pieces. I think it's one of those things where it's like, they wouldn't have imagined people doing it. I mean, it wasn't like something that was just blatant. It's just all of a sudden a team just magically thought of this idea of jamming it in a wall or something, you know? So... I hear the leveling process is very different. It is. It's a lot faster. I mean, they get you through the story way more simpler now, especially with the trust and whatnot. So, I watched SC start 11, and now is max level, and yeah, it looks pretty decent experience even with solo. It's designed to solo it through. What's up, Henry? How you doing? Welcome in. You have trust NPCs that you summon and fight with you, makes everything much easier. Also, Summoner in 11 can solo a lot of stuff. It used to be able to solo a lot of stuff even before I left the game, like, God, 10 years ago. Man, it's been 11 years since I played 11 retail. That's been a long time. But yeah, even back then, it was still capable of solo. That was actually a fun thing with Summoner, in my opinion. How many X-Packs does it have? Zillart, Chains, Cheshire Rodagon, Wings of the Goddess. And then Seekers. And then it had like 3 DLCs. I think it's 5 plus 3 DLCs, if not more DLCs. I literally mean DLCs. Like, there were these 3 episodes that were considered add-ons, and they did that instead of like a full expansion. So I guess it's 5 expansions and 3 add-ons. Maybe more add-ons, I don't know. I've been playing so much PoTD recently, says Henry, and I'm starting to feel more comfortable. I hit 179 last night due to a trap right near a wall. Feeling like a necromancer so close I'm drooling. Dude, Henry, keep at it, man. We're gonna cheer you on, the community and myself, and any question you got, I got you. I'm gonna hit the BRB screen for a second, guys, but I'll be here. Just give me a moment. How big do you think the dev team is now for 11? I have no clue. I couldn't answer that question even if I had some preliminary knowledge. One moment, sorry, I'm just doing something IRL real quick. At least 3? Is that Miss Sheila? Early again. I'm AFK. Oh, I was just doing something IRL, sorry. Okay, what's up? What up, Miss Chira? How was stream? How are you feeling? I heard you walked around a mountain. I hope you did a mountain thing. Had to work overtime all week, so I need a break. Yeah, well, it's all good. Guys, my buddy Miss Sheila over here. She's one of my dear friends. She streams a lot of raiding. She's very good at what she does. She does a lot of deep dungeons, supposedly. And you really will like her stream. You really will like her a lot. She's great. DNS with friendos and then played Rabbit. How do you find Rabbit and Steel? How's that game for you? Is it good? Fun? I'm gonna do why are you yelling? You don't need to yell. It was pretty fun. I don't think I'd like that game. I don't think I'd like Rabbit and Steel personally. I don't know, maybe I should try before I knock it up. It is very... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I like it. I would gladly play 11... Shit, I would gladly play 11 again to combine the sub with 14. Yeah, yo, Chila, what you walked into, by the way, we were kind of discussing a little bit of just 11 in general. So that's kind of why we're talking about 11 for a little bit. Chila played 11 too, back in the day. Yeah, just a little discussion on 11. I know you'd appreciate that because you played a little 11. Welcome in, guys. Lynn, how are you doing? Angela's Demon is here. We are setting up a couple files for some future runs for Deep Dungeon. We set up a Paladin file to 41 today in Heaven on High because we'll be doing a no-sustaining Paladin Heaven on High on Monday. I had to set it up at 41 because of maintenance, and I want to make sure I finish it up before maintenance starts at 9 PM Eastern, so we did a couple floors so that I'm good to go there. We are now setting up a no-sustain warrior run from 51 to 120, which we'll be doing on Sunday. And this will also be on bosses. So unlike the machinist run last week where I did do sustaining on bosses, we will try to get through without sustaining on all bosses, and that includes Behemoth. And I don't have a lot of faith on Behemoth, I'll be completely honest with you. But we're gonna try it. I'm gonna try to do something, and we're gonna try to see if we can get through Behemoth without sustaining, just for shits and giggles. And then, after we set this file up, we're gonna chip away at my Astro file, because I do want to do a Palace of the Dead Astro as a send-off to Endwalker, since it is getting one of the bigger changes in terms of its kit. And I figured that'd be one way to end the expansion with a bang. So we're gonna chip away at that once we finish up the warrior. That's what you walked into today. Tincture and pray. No tincture, dude. I'm gonna double heal. We're gonna do healing strat, man. Currently, what I'm thinking of, usually when we start the Behemoth burst on warrior, you start off with full HP, and then you take the first meteor, and you would do you would get it all back with raw intuition. What I'm kind of hoping and planning to try to do is I'm going to try to I'm gonna do an early raw intuition before meteor to get full HP, push it when my HP is full, and then do a raw intuition later and hope I can make back HP with the raw intuition. That would be kind of what I'm gonna try to plan to do. And it would hopefully come up on the second meteor into the third meteor and make it all back that way. But I would have to have a near perfect Storm's Eye, I think, ×2. So I'm gonna try to see if I can make that happen. Hopefully we make back just enough HP, and then that would set me straight. But if I can't make up enough HP with the raw intuition, then it's gonna be pretty bad. But we'll try it out, and we'll see how it goes. Only one way to find out. As someone who's new to soloing Deep Dungeon, would you recommend Astro or Gunbreaker for a serious Necron? Gunbreaker. Astro... Look, I'm not going to necessarily discourage you away from Astro. If Astro is your destination and you love that job, please, by all means, try it out. But Astro is definitely the hardest to execute. You could be spending months on Astro just trying to get it done. It took me 6 months to clear Astro. doing a run once a week, just to give you an example. Now, for some people, that might sound amazing. Look, I'm not gonna dispute it. If that sounds like a really cool idea, then please, by all means, do it. Was Astra my... Yeah, I left Astra last to Palace Dead. Yep. I did it specifically to leave it last, but that was my last job in Palace Dead. Oh, if I get a Storm Path crit, maybe it's gonna be beautiful. Is Astra, Gunbreaker, or Black Mage? I mean, I would do Black Mage before Astra, but yeah. Some people cleared in like 2 or 3 attempts, but it took me 21 attempts. And this was my last job too, technically Warrior's last, but it's done on purpose. Yeah, Astro can be interesting, and you're also talking like from the guys who had a couple of clears under their belt. But like I said, I don't want to discourage you from trying it. Maybe a suggestion would be to see how it plays, you know, watch a VOD, watch a thing, and then take the judgment from there, you know, see if it's something up your alley. Hey Thunder, thanks for the 6 months, dude. I really appreciate it, man. Cheers, I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a lovely day today. I don't like the idea of, like, saying someone shouldn't do a job. You know, it could be their destiny, but, you know, you want to walk in knowing your expectations, and there's lots of video that can show you the expectations, and, you know, people like a challenge. Aurora Moon's great if you want to watch. Yeah, please check our buddy Aurora Moon out. He's like the best healer, deep dungeon runner, period, so... I was concerned about damage on Gunbreaker. Oh, okay. Gunbreaker, here's one thing I'll tell you about Gunbreaker. Tanks in general will get a little tricky when it comes to damage versus a DPS. Like you're getting challenged on time. But I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to Gunbreaker, that's the least of your concerns. It's probably one of the stronger tanks in terms of damage. Like once you get higher and higher into the floors, I feel like Gunbreaker gets stronger and stronger. I was very impressed with the amount of damage Gunbreaker was pushing out on the higher floors, so you definitely don't have to worry about damage on the tank side of things in respect to tanks. So. On the flip side, when you look at Astro, Astro's damage is going to be a concern over the other 3 healers. Sage being the strongest in Palace of the Dead in terms of just raw damage. Astro would be the weakest of the 3 healers in terms of damage. And of course you have the other issues when it comes to healers in general and so on and so forth. And, you know, its own challenges time-wise, blah blah blah, so... I don't know why I bothered. Well, I guess I can do the damage here as well. I do think it's worth a try, but Gunbreaker will probably get you T1 in Astro. Also worth mentioning that this version of Astro is going away in Dawntrail, so you might as well give it... that is one thing I definitely agree with Ross as a recommendation. That's a PSA to everyone listening. Like, I know a lot of people meme on Astro, like, hey, what job should I do in Palace next? Everyone says Astro because they know it's the hardest. But honestly, like, everyone should give it a shot one more time, or try it at all, because it is going away in terms of your current iteration of Astro. We don't know how it's really going to function in Dawntrail. So it's kind of your last time to experience this, like, very difficult iteration of a job in Deep Dungeon. Potentially. Give it a shot. I mean, we're gonna... That's one reason I wanna send off Endwalker with an Astro run. Just because, you know... It definitely gave me a lot of good memories. Henry on YouTube says, does Gunbreaker have good survivability for Deep Dungeon? What about Paladin? Okay, so... Generally speaking, if you're talking like generally speaking, Gunbreaker has sustained healing because on its second hit, it gets the shielding on the second hit. I forget the name already. So it's baked into its rotation that you just keep getting a shielding, which is really really nice. And it does have a regen. Brutal Shell. Oh, thank you, Brutal Shell. Yeah, I forgot about that. Brutal Shell is in its rotation, so it really helps that way. So You get that. Whereas Paladin, with the exception of Eureka Orthos, does not have healing built into its rotation. But Paladin damage in Heaven on High is really good. Pausing music. Paladin damage in Heaven on High is really good because of the Holy Spirit change and Fight or Flight change. But it is not great in Palace because of the Goring Blade change in 6.3. So Paladin's damage is a little lower, I would say, versus kind of the other tanks. It could definitely do Behemoth, but it is a little bit lower than, say, a Gunbreaker. I also would say, like, the one thing I've watched people have trouble with the Gunbreaker is survivability to some extent. It does take a little bit of an understanding of rotating your defenses to get the most out of Gunbreaker, because if you don't do that, Gunbreaker can feel squishy. But it is really strong in terms of just overall damage. Again, you're going to see sustained damage from Gunbreaker. So longer fights, boss fights, you'll see the power of Gunbreaker show up. In shorter fights, it's like not as good as, say, like a Warrior, because a Warrior, for instance, is more bursty. Paladin is more bursty. Gunbreaker feels not necessarily bursty, but it still puts out damage in like a sustained form. Buddha Shell is also a heal. Buddha Shell is a mini. It's like a mini heal, mini shield. Yeah. By the way, is there a fixed timer for slimes to explode kind of random? No, it's fixed. It's fixed on pull. I think the only reason why it would be off on the fixed thing is if it happens to be in the middle of an auto attack, because it would commit to the auto attack and then do the thing. But do dots still snapshot? They should. Not that we have many dots at the moment, but they should. They do snapshot on you. So like a strategy that you do on like enemies that give you a dot is that you would take the first one and then you would feint or reduce the damage of the second incoming one, and it can't put on the second one because it's weaker. You can't override something that's actually stronger than itself. For what it's worth, I did Gunbreaker and Dark Knight back-to-back in Palace. Gunbreaker feels better than Dark Knight. In Heaven on High, Dark Knight wins. Dark Knight is basically missing a myth that other tanks have, since Dark and Mine is not incredibly useful. There you go. I feel a lot of Gunbreaker's survivability is wrapped up in Heart of Corundrum, which they don't get until like 83. Yeah, that's like the XCOG thing, right? But it's still really good. I mean, I feel like Gunbreaker's defense is underrated. People have issues with Gunbreaker defense, but I personally never had an issue with Gunbreaker defense. Like honestly, it was like the least of my concerns with Gunbreaker. But I get it. Like, people do have some problems with it. I take so many breaks on this game, I'm never sure the changes. I know they used to. Fair. Yeah. I tried Flood on Dark Knight and Gunbreaker wins. Oh, Flood Dragon. Gotcha. In a pinch, I can always go 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. 20 seconds. I still like to use strength when they start to spawn, just in case. Always pull one haul away. Say no to Toad. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you don't want to ever walk through a room and then engage the slime, because if you Toad, you're probably dead. Okay, let me hit an ad here. We're stepping into 91. We got to get to 120, and then we'll do a little bit of Astro. So thank you guys for watching. Ads going out, and then we'll continue onto the floor. So BRB. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I forgot this game is actually releasing again soon. What is it called? Definitive version of Shin Megami Tensei? Whatever it's called now. The full release. The mummy over there. Do I get its toe? I don't think I get its toe. Oh, I did! Okay. Ghost strats? Yeah, apparently. I didn't want to get the swarm. I got the swarm anyway, but whatever, it's fine. I had a thought I was wanting to ask about. I know in your April video you mentioned attack to go through a floor set on each file to keep your April level consistent. Is it insane to continue all the way up to 200? Nope. Especially when you're talking about like your first runs, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it. Like you're kind of walking in knowing that you're kind of like gonna be at a little bit of a lower power, but it isn't to say it's impossible. And you probably have a chance of probably capping on the higher levels anyway. And to be fair, like the difference between 90 and 99 is not really that big of a deal, you know? And one thing I think I probably said on the video, but like if you're a first time runner going through with like fresh ether pool and you're doing your first run, like, I don't want to assume people are, like, you know, incapable of pulling off a clear right out the bat, but more than likely you're probably going to have to reprog and go back into the beginning. So, you can climb on up, see how far you go, take the death, and then reclimb again at a higher ether pool, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, how I view it, it's just giving you a decent chance of victory and knowing what you're walking into, right? Just understand that if you're going with a lower power, things are going to take longer to die, you may have a lower defense, so on and so forth. So, as long as you understand that that might be a problem, there's nothing stopping you. I mean, you can just see how it feels. Maybe give you that kind of confidence, like, well, I did it at a lower ether pool. Maybe it'll be a lot easier now. Hey, Tats, thanks for the follow, welcome in. And thank you for sitting through those ads, guys, I really appreciate it. See, I'm really gonna be... It's something okay, wait, let me start at the beginning, I gave a warning on Discord. A 2-week warning that I will do an everyone tag in Discord. Because I want to kind of grab your attention, I want to say a couple things. Nothing like dire, you know. Just like, you know, getting everyone kind of on the same page and just saying hello to everyone. Maybe update you on a couple things that we've been doing in Discord, so on and so forth. But some of it is going to be along the lines of, like, you know, the content moving forward with Deep Dungeon, and I'm sure a lot of you guys may be thinking about streaming your own attempts and whatnot, and kind of getting on the same page that way. But, like, you know, ads are one thing that I feel like... Ads are a pain in the ass, okay? Period. They're a pain in the ass, I get it. But I've always taken the approach of, like, okay, well, you're gonna have to see ads, so let's just try to make it where you at least get a good user experience, right? Because especially when it comes to Deep Dungeon content, you know, getting hit with ads in the middle of a run just feels so, like, just disruptive. I've seen it before, I've watched people do it before, and so I try to make sure that's not a thing. So that's one of the things where it's like, I wanted to kind of let the, you know, just be like, hey, you know, if you're gonna stream the content, you have ads on, you know, at least take this into consideration. You don't have to do it, but, you know, thinking it that way, and I kind of think of, like, the entire streaming circle of, like, the Deep Dungeon runners within the community, you know, having to be on, like, a similar page is pretty badass in my opinion. Again, this isn't me, like, telling you what to do. You do whatever the hell you want to, you know? It's just... It's your viewers, do whatever you're okay with. With that being said, you know, like for the guys, and if you didn't know, Twitch raised the money for subs into all the channels. Like for like US, for like other countries, it was raised a lot higher. For US citizens, and if you're paying US dollars, it's $1 more. I think it happens starting next month. And so it's completely understandable if people now are like, you know what, forget it, I'm not going to sub anymore, like $6 is like, you know, that's pushing it. I get it. Now, the thing that's a positive, at least for us, is that we do still get the higher, instead of us getting a split of $5, we get the split of $6. Which at least is great, but I mean, I'm not gonna be one to, like, you know, make you guys stream and keep your subs or whatever. Now, we are going to be pushing for that Partner Plus program, which is part of what I want to make an announcement for, that I want to be kind of vocal about the fact that I really would love to hit that thing, but it's understandable. Like, I'm not gonna... You don't have to do it just because, like, you know, you like the content, great. But when it comes to ads, that's kind of the free way of being able to support any streamer or any content. I mean, YouTube is obviously, their main revenue is ads. So you see it all over the place, but that's how you make the money. And so, at least how I want to try to do it is that I try to make it so that it's, at like I said, the least disruptive as possible. And if you're someone who's incapable or unable to, you know, be able to sub to any channel or whatever, the ads are one way to do it for free, so. But I'll always try to be very, very careful with putting out the ads there, because it's a necessary evil, and, you know, I think it's been a good going ever since we had to do them. And also, we're gonna talk about, like, the situation with our Discord. Because we've had to do so many things combating the damn bots in Discord, so I'll probably get you guys on the same page on that topic too. So, like, I'm gonna try to squeeze in as much as I can in that Discord announcement, because I don't like tagging everyone for things. I want to do that like twice a year at most, so we're gonna be using one of them in 2 weeks. I'm giving you guys the warning. You know it's coming. This song, I just finished watching Engage. Oh, really? I think I remember seeing a, an Engage speedrun? Didn't it all have to do with, like, the jumping and, like, someone's ability of, like, dashing forward or something like that? I guess there's different categories, though. What's up, Devin? Southerner, they are getting creepy from what I've heard, so... Now, we've handled... On our Discord server, we have been able to handle the bots spamming the channels, but it is to the expense of actual regular users, unfortunately. But I think it's one of those things where we'd rather be safer than not safer kind of thing, so... One of the GDQ ones, gotcha. The random bots asking when I stream, give me links. Ugh. Yeah, Velvet got one earlier and she deleted the hell out of the person. It was great. A couple times I opened Twitch while being connected to VPN. I got a new style of ads, banners at the bottom or oh, so those GANU are called yeah, those are unintrusive ads. And I know Twitch has been trying to push more of them out, but they don't always happen. They are way better, by the way. If I could control my ads of what you guys can see, first and foremost, I would make sure you guys see a fun ad that, like, I don't know, is funny, so at least you're not wasting your time watching something dumb. But two, I would make it completely unintrusive, even if it means I earn less money. Because that's such a better experience, but I have no control. They said it's just random. I'm getting a lot of bots whispering me asking about my commission for shit. Yeah, no, that's a big thing. Astro run out of mana after 7 minutes in raid. I don't think that change is good. I'm sure they'll fix it. You know, I'm sure someone's doing something that's testing it out. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I mean, it is early it's still... So, also bear in mind, I think the build that the Mediator had was like 2 months old. So... it's something to really take into consideration as well. To get over to the thing. Team Hunt's coming stream next week. You said you played the mobile one for a short while. What are the odds that you'd be driven to the main games? -9. -2000. I played Kingdom Hearts 1, I couldn't play that game longer than 2 hours, and I stopped playing Kingdom Hearts forever. I could not stand the battle system of Kingdom Hearts. I had no idea how to do that ship thing. The gummy ship. I was so lost trying to build my ship, I had no idea what was going on. You'll never see me play Kingdom Hearts ever. Sorry. Now I have friends I can point you to for a Kingdom Hearts playthrough, but you're never gonna see them, man. Dash. I have nothing against Kingdom Hearts. I know the story is convoluted AF, but honestly the story didn't bother me. It's just the entirety of its other game system that I had a problem with. Do you play Elden Ring at all? Did not like Elden Ring. Any other games you guys want to be excited for that I tell you that I hate? anyone? I did not like Elden Ring. I played it as one of my first variety games, and I never reached credits because I just didn't want to play it again. So, Baldur's Gate 3. Wait, let me finish this one. Hold on. So for me, you know what the reason why I didn't like Elden Ring? To me, Elden Ring felt very redundant, and it felt very slow. And I like fast. Like, okay, for example, we're playing through Withering Waves now. I really like the combat from Withering Waves because it's very, very fast and very responsive. Whereas to me, Elden was just very slow and just, I didn't like it. And then, like, to me, the bosses felt very, like I said, redundant. So it's like, I go into, like, a random cave, and it's like, oh, I fought this boss, like, 6 bosses ago. Like, it just wasn't really exciting to me. So, that's why I don't like Elden. Chrono Trigger didn't play it. Ghost of Tsushima didn't play it. Baldur's Gate 3, I was playing with my girlfriend, and we were playing it very slowly. I was having fun with that game, but I barely really scratched the surface with Baldur's Gate. So, we're gonna get back into it into the future, but I got her obsessed with Stardew Valley, so we've been playing Stardew Valley. And, you know, Stardew Valley takes a while, so we'll be enjoying that for a while. Gummy ships suck. You know what really made me sad, Lexi? I like side-scrolling ship games, and it was just very disappointing that I could not get to like the gummy ships, because I was so excited for, like, oh my god, it's a ship shooting game, and then it's like, it did nothing for me. For me, I had to drop Kingdom Hearts 3, interruptions in the middle of combat every second for stupid animation and a lot of button smashing, but I love Kingdom Hearts 1. Fair. Devil May Cry. I didn't like Devil May Cry that much. I played, I think, the first and the second. I think I got stuck on the third one, and I didn't really care for it. I think, for me, Devil May Cry, it was more the aesthetic that I didn't like as much. I think it was more aesthetic. Like, for example, I enjoyed 16 battle system, which I know is very similar to to Devil May Cry in a way. You know, it wasn't the greatest for me, but I didn't mind it. I think it was just the aesthetic of Devil May Cry that I just didn't want to really go for. Fortune, go here. Have I played Dragon Quest? Only one, technically, which was 11. Love 11. Dragon Quest 11 is one of my favorite JRPGs. Like, that was a treat to play. And a really good story. So I'm very excited for the remake coming in. Very excited for that remake coming in. I gave Elden Ring a good shot, honestly. My issue is the typical Souls issue. I did not like having to constantly re-clear everything. That's fair, that's fair. Like, I'm someone who will bash my head against the wall and do it for, like, hours upon hours. And there was a satisfaction to it, but I think the problem was when I bashed my head against the wall for a single boss, and then, like, 14 hours later I fought the same exact boss, it was... You know, it just wasn't as exciting, I guess, in a way. I mean, I know, like, you could only have so many bosses and so many enemies that are existing, but it started to get just very repetitive. Looking forward to 12 a lot. Yeah, Dragon Quest 11 was... That was so good. Everyone loves Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is very good. DMC is always so cringy, it felt so ham-fisted. Okay. Ico Shadow the Colossus Last Guardian. Didn't play any of them. I have heard of Shadow the Colossus though, but I didn't play that. I didn't play any of those. Knights of Heroes is pretty universal. BG2 is my first. Gotcha. DQ3, DQ11 is great on its own. As someone who's played since DQ1, it's amazing as a capstone to the DQ series. Gotcha. I think I played Dragon Quest 1 Backsword when I was little, but I was way too young to understand what the hell I was doing. Pretty sure I only lasted all of 10 minutes and I gave up. The first JRPG that I played almost to the end, but I didn't beat it, which I consider my very first JRPG, was Phantasy Star 2. Because I stuck with that game till like the second boss, to like the second to last boss. I never got to beat him, but I did eventually, like later, a couple of years later, but yeah, like that was my first one, and that was a joy to play. Like I really liked it. Like I was actually engaged with the story. I enjoyed the leveling system. Like that was my introduction to JRPGs. Blue Dragon. That sounds familiar. That's Rasbros. That is what Deep Dungeon is. Oh yeah, I did not like having to re-clear everything, to constantly re-clear everything. That's what Deep Dungeon is, yeah. That is Deep Dungeon, yeah, you're right. Did I ever play any other Phantasy Star? I played Phantasy Star 4. I played Phantasy Star on the PSP, and I did play Phantasy Star Online 2 when it came to the PC. Which that one was like, I don't know, I got to like kind of the end and I got bored of it. But I did really like my Phantasy Star, almost nearly all of them. The one on PSP, the one on the PSP was really fun. The 2 and 4 are like classics. You know what I loved about 4? The synergy system, where you use the magic abilities in combination, and you did like a really strong attack. That was a great system. Especially when like you were trying to just randomly find things without a guide and stuff. What a great system that was. I'm falling behind in chat. Let me catch up here. DQ1 doubled as reading practice for me in tiny years. Phantasy Star is a great series. I still want to go back and try PS4 speedruns. Oh man, that was... I never even thought about really doing speedruns of that. That would be kind of interesting. Stardew is easily 100 RPG, and it had a free update for years. Yeah, Stardew is great. And that's one reason I got caught up in Stardew recently, was because of the 1.6 update. The 1.6 update really was like a great way to hop back in, and it's been a great update overall. The game doesn't even say anything about them. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about them. I don't even remember like where I saw the combinations, unless I was just like noting it down in a notebook or something, but... I actually love Phantasy Star 4. It's a fantastic game. It was a great game! And it was the first one I beat, because I played 2, and I couldn't beat 2 because I was just like not really that good at JRPGs. I played 4, I beat 4. Like I legitimately beat 4, which I was really proud about. That prompted me to rewatch that scene where Dante and the succubus boss just scream about Q at each other. That's rather specific, but okay, gotcha. It was way harder. It was like, the thing was, my strategy back in my early days of JRPGs at Lorne was hit them as hard as possible. I didn't understand debuffing or buffing, and that's what you needed to do for like one of the bosses in PS2, so that's why I died. So I died. I didn't like erase buffs. I didn't debuff the boss. I just tried to just brute force it, and it didn't work. But yeah, simplistic thinking, you know. Big guns, big power. I can kill everything, as long as I kill it before it kills me. But that's not how you fight that boss. Oh, going on the topic of games that like I ended up not liking that was hyped. One that I remember distinctly was Slay the Spire. And I thought I would like Slay the Spire. I did not like that game. It just didn't do anything for me. I really gave it a shot too, but it didn't hook me like other games. And I got it because, like, it was hyped. Like, people were like, dude, you gotta play this game. It's a roguelike. It's, like, you know, similar to Deep Dungeon in a way. You like it. And I didn't like it. I just ended up not liking it. It's a fairly sound strategy. I mean, it worked up until the final boss. Hit it again, keep hitting. Yeah. I tried to say this by Darkest Dungeon back to back, and Darkest Dungeon, I feel like, might be more up my alley. If I will be honest, I feel like I would like Darkest Dungeon, but Slay the Spire, I think it was a combination of, like, maybe the way the art was and everything that just didn't hook me. Like, roguelikes, like something like Hades. Hades hooked me right away, because there was always this desire to keep getting better and to see more. I think with Slay the Spire, I didn't have that. Like, it was just like, okay, could I get farther today? Great. If not, then it's like, okay. You know? But Hades had the hook for me to get me to keep playing that till the current end. So yeah, so I will not be engaging with the Elden Ring DLC. If anything, I have like the Wuwa update and like the Huntai Star Rail update or something like that. Like whatever else is coming. And like, was it June 27th? Oh yeah, doesn't the Pal World update come in June 27th or something? I don't think I'm doing Pal World. I have the game, it's a great game. I don't think I'm gonna play it on the 27th, you know? Like, I feel like I'm gonna need like a game leading me into my stream for early access for 14, so I'll have something up. Pal World, it was a great game. It did do what it did for the hours I had it for, but I think like most people, you got your fun and then you're good. I think it's more how I look at it, you know? But then also it's the kind of game that it's going to get better over time, so... But I kind of want to re-engage with that game, maybe deeper into its development, maybe. Doki Doki, I never played that. I heard about that one, but I never played that game. I really missed those two dragons. Palwood's great, but reading isn't really fun endgame. I definitely got into that cycle, Zabin, and then I think that's also where I fell off, because all I was trying to do was get, like, the perfect pal, and then I kind of got what I wanted after, like, a couple of days, and then I never did anything with it. You know, like, oh man, now I got the perfect pal, I'm gonna go do the end. I never got to do the end. I had this whole base that was gonna be all breeding and everything. I didn't do anything with it. It was bad. Cultivation... Sites... Plus... Enshrouded I felt the same about. It's fun, but I wanted to see it when it's finished. You know what's a game that I think they showed up in the Summer Game Fest that I played the closed beta, I think the closed beta 2 for, and they have a third and maybe another one. Once Human was actually pretty good. I could see myself playing Once Human. My interpretation of that game was basically, it was an open world survivor, builder, crafter. You can build your own housing. You can defend your own housing, and actually the housing feature was part of your base too, where you could like, you could actually do like this event where you park this item that you get from the overworld, put it in your base, and then you had to defend your base. And you can move your base, your entire base, you could move it to any area on the open world nearly in an instant, which was kind of cool too. So that game was, and that was like a third-person shooter, zombies, apocalypse, blah blah blah, so it's along those lines of it, but it was an interesting game. I could see myself doing it. Yeah, I'm good. I played the original. I highly recommend that game, but I'm not playing that game again. I spent like 120 on the first playthrough. I'm not doing another 100 hours of that game. For like 2 more areas and like... For 2 more areas and like 1 extra boss or something like that. You know what I mean? You said Hades grabbed you immediately. Have you tried Supergiant? No, I haven't. I know about like, was it Super Meat Boy? I've seen speedruns of that one. I haven't tried another Supercell game. A Supergiant game. Hey Mia! Good morning! I'm trying to wave as fast as your emote. I'm waiting for a Tactics somehow. Some people were like, oh, they're gonna announce a Tactics remake in Game Fest. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of hope. Yeah, there's a lot of hope. The new Valheim update got added Siege. Kind of cool. Saw someone launch themselves. Of course they would. Why would they do that? That is way too much. It's a lot of hope. I mean, look, I'll be up for it. Totally play that on stream, but that is a lot of hope. Higher trend. I haven't played any of those, no. There's a lot of rumors about a 9 remake, but wasn't there supposed to be an animated FF9 series by like a French company, and I've heard nothing about it ever since. I don't know if I'm gonna get to Astro today. I thought I would get to Astro today. I don't know if I'll even get to Astro. Maybe I can do like 10 floors or something. I thought I had allotted enough time for Astro, but then I'm going really slow here, to be fair, but... Let's see what I feel like. Come here. Yeah, paraphrase. I heard nothing after the initial thingy. Like, I feel like by now it should have, like, been released, but I have heard nothing. Yeah, I'd be kind of. I would totally watch it, 100%. Okay, boss time. Boss time. Then 20 more floors. Bastion's still one of the best songs in... Has one of the best songs in a game for me. Gotcha. I heard about Bastion. I think. I saw some bits and pieces of that game. Was that a isometric game? Or am I thinking of something else? I feel like maybe I watched a speedrun of it, maybe. It is, okay, I think I'm thinking of the right one. Okay, I definitely never played it, but I may have watched a speedrun of it. I listened to it many times. Okay. I do like good music. Is there a reason why I'm not using any palms yet? Oh yeah, so I wanted to wait on the lust until the ads come in so I can kill the ads when they showed up. And then I can carry this into the second set of ads. So the lust is here longer. That's generally what I'm going for. I mean, it really doesn't matter how you approach this fight, but I'm going this way. How did I miss the other one? FF11 music always had a nice trip down memory lane. Yep. Gonna hear more of it soon, Max. I'm excited. Just as amazing. I love the soundtrack and the combat system. I think they should do a long game using that. If the 7.1 Alliance raid stuff starts off with the Bastok theme, I'm going to melt into. But you know, I was wondering if they would start with a city state. When it comes to like the hub or something, you know, would they start off with a song like that? For this year, I did something that I never do. I immediately played it the second time after beating it. It's like turn-based, but for the replay, I did a build that had made it more into like an action game. Interesting, okay. Very interesting. Hey! Ali Hell! Comfy raid. Hey, welcome in. Thanks for that raid. I'm gonna get you the shout-out in a little bit. Welcome in. Hope you had a lovely stream. What are you up to? If it's your first time here, I am Andrew's Demonist. I do a lot of Deep Dungeon solo content in Final Fantasy XIV. We also play some variety games. I'm currently playing through Withering Waves, and we do a lot of JRPG, survival, open world type games. So we are definitely getting ourselves ready for Dawntrail, so if you're hyped for Dawntrail, we'd love to talk about it. Welcome in! Let me down this boss and we'll give you a shout out. We are setting up a couple Palace of the Dead files for future attempts. I'm getting some of the lower floors out of the way at the moment. Dawntrail hype? Yeah, dude. I'm ready. It's the month. June is the month for Dawntrail, and I'm ready to go. I'm just, you know, getting everything back in order, I guess is one way to put it. Henry on YouTube says, I've been slowly collecting sustaining potions as warrior. How many do you think I'll need for a full clear? Warrior? You can probably just run with like 150, honestly. You don't need much on warrior. You know, this run in particular, Henry, if you're able to catch this on Sunday, I'm going to continue this on Sunday. What do you call it? This run will be a no sustain. So we're going to try to run through and see how far we get without using any sustaining potions. And I could definitely get to 180 pretty easily. 180 is probably not going to be the issue, but getting to 180 is... Getting past 180 without sustaining is going to be the issue, but, you know. But yes, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Ali, if you got to do your thing, and self-care, and post-stream, whatever it might be, please, you are welcome to do so. However, I do plan on being here for at least another hour or two, so if you want to talk, whatever it might be, please, you are welcome to do so. Hrothgar hype. True. I mean, I'm gonna be staying Catgirl myself, but, sure that'll be very exciting for the people who will be looking forward to it. Comfy stream. Comfy! It is comfy. Except when I die to, inevitably 4 sprites over here. You gonna chill until DT? Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of getting myself back into the swing of things, like, more, like, we're gonna definitely do more 14 streams moving forward, I think. Well, maybe starting the week before or something like that, but... Going for Bun Bites Rothgal. Be nice to see the gamers go into Rothgal. Getting stoned to death. Been playing Killer Clowns, and I saw that on the carousel for Steam. How is that game? I don't think I'll ever play it myself, but I did see it on the carousel. I've been grinding top and DSR too much, but now I'm done with everything, so it feels nice. Freedom must be nice, Mia. It is fun, better with friends. I play with my wife. Aw. Yeah, it's a game on Steam, yeah. Like, you know, I didn't even know that was a movie. I only found out it was a movie recently myself, but yeah. Humans try to escape, clowns try to kill humans. Humans can kill clowns, but clowns can respawn. Humans do not. That seems unfair. 6:30 AM says Astra. Let's go. Can't imagine doing anything better with watch your stream. Oh, that's really nice of you, Astra. Well, I hope I can start your morning pretty well. So, cheers. Good morning. Never want to do this much Party Finder again. RIP. But yeah, it is over. Freedom for a month. Mia's gonna be Mia. You still on the plan to do 0 hour deep dungeon with us? And are you doing Picto, or were you sticking? I think originally we were talking Viper, but I changed to Picto. I don't know if you're gonna go Picto or stay with Viper when you're in. Mia, by the way, from what we can recall, was European first Reaper in Heaven on High. They were right behind me when I cleared Reaper 1 to 100. They're like on the same floor set by the time I cleared, so it was really fun. That was a really fun experience. $30, yeah. That was awesome. That was such a cool event when we did that in Endwalker. I'm really gonna be excited to see even more people diving into that 0 hour deep dungeon climb and race. I'll be over my boyfriend for DT release, so I'll have to see. Okay, understood. Gotcha. Man, the timing. You know, Mia, Omniwas said he's gonna have a family get together on the release of the early access. So well, he wasn't gonna do Deep Dungeon, I think, anyway. But yeah, second person now that I know that they're gonna have some family stuff on the thingy. I cleared my schedule. I made sure my schedule was clear AF, dude. I'm like, yo, this date I can't do shit, dude. I'm gonna play this game. Freaking summer, man. No need to go. Relax, chill. Isn't it also Father's Day? No, that's Father's Day is the 16th. So, well, for America, I don't know about other countries, but for America, Father's Day is the 16th of June. I was hoping so bad it was gonna release late July or early August. That's her. If the laptop can handle it. True. Did you try the benchmark, the new benchmark? I actually haven't done the benchmark. I guess, like, I already did the first benchmark, so... I mean, I do want to see my cat girl, though. I gotta maybe make sure my cat girl's gonna look good. That's my only thing. Like, that's the only thing I would care about, is if the cat girl looks good. It looks way better. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But so my buddy Alchemy, who rated us earlier, she did a 1-to-1 of her cat girl, and she was really disappointed in the first benchmark. but she implanted this idea of, like, she made some tweaks to her cat girl, like changed some colors here, changed some adjustments there, and she made it look like really, really good. And it made me thinking, like, you know, maybe I might do that. I might maybe change, like, do a couple tweaks here and there. You know, I don't know. If it's not to my liking. I mean, I don't want to use the Fantasia to, like, change, like, you know, from a 1% to a 2% or something like that, but... Hey, Foster Gamer. The stream is going well, thank you for asking. I don't know if I'm getting to Astro today. I was gonna set up a little bit of Astro, but we'll see. Kinda misjudged my time a little bit, but not that big of a deal. We can always do Astro another day. It's always my backup at the moment. I have 90% of stuff I need for my computer, but I can't start building because the case hasn't shown up yet. Oh, rip. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You kind of need the case to build a PC, don't you? Can always go full Silver Imposter Gamer on YouTube says you can always go full airflow mode. I guess not wrong. Don't have to worry about having fans, probably. If you have a clean table, you actually don't. There's some crazy YouTubes out there. Yeah, but then if the case is coming in, I mean, you want to get it in the case, right? Oh. I love Yarzons, they're my favorite. It's fair. I'd rather not have cable spaghetti taking up most of my desk, also fair. Oh, I have heavy moderation. Sorry about that. Yeah, the bone sacks suck for sure. Well, I have died on Red Mage by pulling a Yarzon and a Deer, and I thought I could heal through it, and the answer to that was no, you can't. Well, I wasn't ready for it. I mean, you could probably heal through it, but it was just a lot of incoming damage that I wasn't ready for on Red Mage. Okay, the exit is kind of covered here by this. Hey, Super Pink Pillow, thank you for the 16 months of Prime Gaming, I really appreciate that. Yeah, apparently my alerts don't like single subs, I don't understand, but I appreciate it, nonetheless. Okay. For the Mob Destiny and Dog Beetle's pretty bad. You read it as Willow instead of Pillow. Well, you know what? Willow is on a pillow, I'm sure, right now. He's probably passed out. What's up, Hustle Hoop? How you doing? Well, shit. Willow is purple. Willow was a great movie. If you say the magic word, he shows up. It's great. Maybe he shows up, I don't know. Imagine if he does show up. Oh my god, that'd be so funny. He's probably passed the F out, dude. It's like 6:30, 5:30 over there. The other magic word. I do wonder why this set specifically has higher mob spawns than the then the next 40 don't. It was actually a conscious decision. Why? Welcome to 101, I guess, maybe. Also, maybe just the fact that it's a bigger area, maybe. Hey, Prismatic. I've been fantastic. How are you doing today? On this Friday evening, or Saturday morning, or whatever it is. Days! Aw, thanks for the raid, man. With my thing. There it is. Hey, Days, how is your stream? Welcome in, guys. Angela's Demons here, setting up a couple of Deep Dungeon files. We had a lovely stream. I'll get you the shout out after we killed as a goblin. Guys, check out Days. What are you up to today, man? Oh, I didn't. That was my best shout out yet. Here we go. Can I... Sound? Voltex Exceed Gear. I have not heard of that game. What is that game? Oh, man. I do want that chest. Great. Good, doing some final pet for Dawntrail, mostly out leveling. Okay, are you alt leveling for raiding? Or are you just having some, like, an alt up for reasons? Oh my god, so friend, what is the alteration chance? Today I had 7 out of 7 mimics from one being Mimic Treasure Room. I was losing my mind. Ha 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 ha. What is the alteration chance? I don't know. Like, usually it's 50-50, but I mean, you can flip a coin 7 times and still get heads, you know what I'm saying? So, you just didn't do well on the RNG, I guess? For retainers. Ooh, okay, gotcha. Good way to use retainers, got it. Fair. It should be 50%, yeah. Should be, hee. You know, I've been there, Days. I know what you feel like. One of my monk runs back in, like, Shadowbringers, I think I used Alteration 5 times, and it was all Mimics, and I needed all of one of them. I needed one of them to not be a Mimic room, and it was Mimics every freaking time. So, yeah, I feel your pain, and I share your pain. So Aida here, I take it that you didn't do well on the run then, if that's the case. Sucks. Oh, the exit's all the way over here. I did my berserk properly for once. Safety... sites. A lot of safeties and sites. Oh, it's feast music. Bad RNG question. Alright. How many enemies have you killed under Fortune without a single one dropping a chest? How many have I killed without a single... I mean, that's like EO in a nutshell. You can do like 10 kills plus and still not get anything, so I mean... I don't know if there's like an over-under though, meaning like, okay, well, you kill X amount of enemies so a chest should drop, it's just a chance individually. No, well, there's that too. I killed a ninja at 91, but I got Reaper. I can use it. Got Reaper to 60 on my ult, so that's still stacking, sustaining, so not super upset. Okay, sure. Definitely have hit a match side Fortune on Big Rim, see nothing drop. Yep. Some people say luck is skill, so it's a skill issue. No, I mean, you're not wrong, yeah. Definitely skill issue. Have you had an experience, Mormon, where you're questioning whether you had Fortune on or not? Is that why you're asking? I've had that a couple times. Like, I would kill everything, and then I would look at my thing and like, did I really have Fortune on? 19, and it was EO. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. I have nerds. I have gummy clustered nerds. They're like my current, like, gamer fuel at the moment. They're very good. It's so funny because I have like family in the Philippines, and my parents tend to ship things over to them, you know, like things that they're asking for, things that they like, because it's a lot easier to get it here and whatever. And one of my my cousin's daughters got interested into the nerds clusters, so I had gotten some just to try for myself, and I'm like, oh, these are actually pretty damn good. So I have one with me, just on this side in case I just need a little bit. I can't eat nerds, that's cannibalism. I mean, that's a you problem, really, right? Yeah. Good. Skill issue. Yeah. Incoming sponsorship. Yeah, right. That what is it? What's the main company of nerds? Is it like Wonka? No way. We got the Tokyo Treat sponsorship. Oh. That's one thing I'm gonna do in early access. I'm gonna showcase a box on early access, because it'll be the best time to do it. It'll also be my excuse for like fueling myself on stream, to eat something on stream by forcibly opening a thing. Nope, this one. Nothing over here. I think I'll probably be able to do like 20 to 30 floors on Astro, but it's still gonna be good because it's it'll still save me some time when I have to do the rest of it. Thanks for the follow. I'll check in a second. Like, Batani. Follow. Goblins coming. Bing, bing. Oh, there's a landmine. Oh, pay attention. Hey, thanks for the 21 Prime. I appreciate it.
Rich bubble.
Love it. Thanks, man. Thank you for that continued support. Ad-free viewership. Isn't Gunbreaker's AoE... like, don't they get the finishing combo later? Or is that in Heaven on High? I forgot. It's done by accident. Oh, reason. Counting the days of Dawntrail. Coming closer. I finally got a strength. Yeah, because it's like a one button for Gunbreaker here. Oh, Paladin sucks too. Yeah, that's right, Paladin does suck too, you're right. That's why it's underwhelming. You're in Palace? Yeah, fair. That is completely fair. My stun is on my right hand, and I was using my right hand for drinking. Wait, where did you come from? So we think your job's better at the level. It's not like the only thing you do is all the Yeah, it's kind of whatever. I mean, they have their ups and downs, right? Oh, you know, in Heaven on... yeah, in Palace of the Dead, it's different. Heaven on High, Gunbreaker's a lot stronger than Heaven on High. Like, Heaven on High is actually a lot of fun doing the AoE pulls, because basically you would just do it every minute, because you would just line it up with the AoE dot, which is kind of cool. I imagine, okay, so for you guys who looked at the skill thingies, Was there any noticeable level changes for any skills, or are they all basically the same? Anyone see anything? All the same. This didn't change much. Well, I mean, look, even a small change could be a massive difference in Deep Dungeon. Bear that in mind. You know, like for instance, the biggest example I can give you, and welcome in Boom Gaming. The biggest example I can give you is when they dropped Shinten from 61 to 51. That's a big change, you know. Like that would say that's a massive change. But I didn't see. I mean, you guys haven't really been talking about it, so I imagine it's nothing really happened. But I'm sure a lot of you have looked at the skill charts way more than I have. I barely have looked into it. Like, I had a couple things, and then I looked at the one I paid attention to was the White Mage Dash and Smudge, and how far they were going, which wasn't very far. So. Black Mage is all over. That's what I heard. I think it's gonna be one of those things where I just have to just get into it and try it out. What's up, Cog? How you doing, man? You had a good night. How was your... What happened to your Reaper run? Did you die on Reaper? Which is why you had to redo it again? Biggest disappointment is almost so... Yeah. Unfortunate. Wait. I think I missed a chest. Oh, rip. What got you? A worm? Me being bad. So was it a worm? Didn't answer my question. Let me get this. Can I do it 4? Just rush trying to kill chimeras and to kill chickens in gloom with no steel turns. Oh, gotcha. Alright, so you're pushing limits. I got you. I think Black Mage might not be bad in Palace the more I look at it. This Mob Ross, as long as Thunderhead is granted at any level of Astral Umbral, chance goes to be something. The more I look at it, the harder time I have convincing myself that Black Mage will be good anywhere. I mean, one little bit of thing, like, I would have to think, because it is Yoshi P's favorite job, like, you would have to be some playable instance of Black Mage, right? It can't cripple the job to some extent that, like, even Yoshi P is gonna be angry with it, so he has to be happy with the result. Something that made me think of was Machinist getting an upgrade to Gauge Shot, which turns into AoE like Ricochet at 72. Presumably, I don't think it's retroactive, so level 100 Deep Dungeon, there would be potentially impact action choice pulls. You pull with Gauze Barrel? You know, there was a story paraphrase. It was a very bad story. Someone in Deep Dungeon solo, I think it was a friend of a friend or something like that, they pulled with Ricochet. But the moment they hit Ricochet on the enemy in the middle of a room, this was 151 plus. They ricocheted a Soul Flare, and another one spawned the moment they hit the button. And they immediately pulled it, and then they died, and then the run ended. And it's just like, oh, well, that's the way to go. Oh no is right. Oh no is right. Oh, no baby, yeah. Am I really not out in 7 kills? Okay, I was gonna say. I don't think they took away the black mage damage. I think they removed some of the complexity. Oh, great. See, I always B3 and B4 though. That doesn't really change it for me. Another witching. Oh my god, how many patrols are there? What the hell, dude? There's like 6 patrols. It's a lot of dung beetles. There's a lot of dung beetles. Can you not come this way? I've really been grateful for that. Oh, he came this way, little bitch. Interesting about the black mage. At least it's like Gozu's. I think it would be more exciting for you guys if it was Gozu's, not gonna lie. This is gonna hurt. Okay, well, we survived. It's fine. Only 7 dung beetles coming at me. I didn't even need to hold. Dude, I didn't even drop like half my HP. It's good. A lot of dung beetles. Sleepy song. Yeah, boss? I don't know what I'm gonna prioritize. Maybe Astro gets put in there. Monk, I think, gets a higher priority. Maybe I do Black Mage too. I think Monk is the one that gets weird, right? So. Oh yeah, we know that. But I mean, I still want to experience it myself too. I'll do whatever Aurora either finishes or hasn't done yet. Astro, I feel like, is entertaining enough that, you know, it'll be a thrill ride, you know. Yeah, be interesting to see it. Alright, Bionic, let's compare notes. Fire pots. Yeah, I'm excited for Picto. I mean, from what the dudes were talking about in Deep Dungeon 2, it sounds like it's gonna be a freaking powerhouse. mean, for me, I know, like, potencies and whatever, but it just comes down to, like, how it actually plays for me, but it sounds like it's gonna be crazy. First time I've had my hot bars ready! Oh, I see, that's an interesting thing, because I was trying to think about how I want to do that personally. I might be waiting for the patch notes before we get into the game to actually think about how I'm going to plan out my stuff. Since things are, like, subject to change and whatnot. Yeah, I might try to do that so I can get into the game right away. But I do have to think about how I want to handle the buttons myself, too. Gotta figure out how the combos go and whatnot. A lot of times I do adjust on the fly, because I will kind of let muscle memory handle some of the bits and pieces. But for the most part, at least I'll get something started. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's fair. I can see that's fair. That'll easily take an hour setting up for everything. I tend to optimize the layout. Keep that, I'm going full YOLO on Viper as I walk into PoTD. Cog, you sound like a teenager. Do you realize that? You sound like a high school kid that, like, walked into chat or something. That's why I'm doing Palace first, so I can slowly get to the button. Everyone on high won't be too bad. EO is going to be the one that's really funky. They finally got rid of the annoyances of Dragoons, both eye management and the clunkiness of Dragoon's sight targeting and party content, which are changes I hope for, so I think I'll enjoy the job done. That says a lot, because I enjoy Dragoon now as it is. Putting out Astro will feel regular, but also deep dungeon. Since you lose a lot of damage buffs and also Astrodyne buffs, you might end up being worse. But F Astrodyne... I think people felt positive about Astro, from what I was reading, from the deep dungeon community. Like, people seem... Except for the NP management, that was the only one that people are concerned about. I saw Aurora talking about how if the MP management isn't any different than what it is now, that you see in the current toolkits, that you basically just run out of MP on like 150 or something like that. I think that's what he said. Yeah. Like, personally, I don't mind the current Astro and Deep Dungeon, where you're doing cards every 15 minutes, every 15 seconds, but like, I can do without it. Now to do it once every minute, guess would be better. Sumastra. Is that... Wait a minute, is that a, was that an autocorrect, or was that actually how you typed it, Sumastri? Is it much harder to start PoTD with 65? Is it much harder? No. So, like, you know, the reason why I suggest 65 as a bare minimal enemy, you don't uncap your Aether Pool at 99.99 until you're around floor 94. So you're sinking down for, like, the entirety of, like, the early floors. Like, even 65, you're probably not 65 in reality until, like, I don't know, floor 70 or something. So, I mean, of course, if, like, you don't get enough as you're climbing up and you're still, like, you know, 80 or 90 by the time you're, like, 100, you're weaker, but it's still not that big of a weakness. Hey, Jo, thanks for the raid! Hey, thanks for all these raids, guys. I hope you're all having a wonderful night. It's good to see everyone on this Friday night. while we do a little bit of 14 today, setting up some files. Hope 14 treated you well today, Jo. Synergy's good, it's just odd. It's really good, the one time it's useful in this expansion. Synergy's a pure healer gauge. I mainly use it on a Giga GCD heal on a tank who has 6 bone stacks of the DF trial. I was hoping we'd be able to combine some of the many extra heals that all do the same thing. Sort of. LOL. Finished EO solo for the first time, but I timed out. Oh shit. Hey Henry, it's no problem at all, man. Keep asking. Let's go. Damn, I'm sorry, Jo. Oh man, that's a terrible way to go. Was there? How did the 91 set go? Was it like was it a tough set to get through, or did you like make a couple mistakes and like, you know, it's what cost you the time? Did you like die at 99, have to re-raise and then redo 99, and that killed your time? Oh no! Oh my god, that's so brutal. Oh. Shit. Well, on the bright side, the cutscene won't show up again, so... Oh, rip. You know, honestly though, that gives me... that... I'm gonna keep that in mind, because I know, I think on my guide, I don't really talk about the cutscene at all. It's just kind of like, hey, you win, congratulations. But then you get into that situation where the run is really freaking long, and then you have the cutscene. It's like, oh, you know? I mean, it is spoilers, but still. Sorry to hear, man. But hey, Jo did some deep dungeon. You know, you guys, if you need more deep dungeon streamers, you got another one right there. Let's go. I mean, you never assume someone was solo it the first time, though. Well, either way, like, in Jo's situation, I mean, even if it's like your 9th or 10th attempt, you don't see the cutscene until you beat the boss, right? So you have this really rare occurrence where you might actually time out on the way to the thing. So it didn't really occur to me to be like, hey, by the way, if you have 2 minutes left on the clock and you beat this thing, there's a cutscene that lasts like a minute. if you watch the whole thing and the timer is still ticking, so you may want to unfortunately look to skip it, but yeah. I made some mistakes in 90 set, but learned from them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got to the end, you played the whole thing. I mean, that's... As shitty as it is to time out, you beat it. So, yes, it sucks you have to run it back and do it again, but at the very least, you know you've done it, right? For like the veterans, it's basically like a second clear. So, it's... You know, it's just now you just collect your title, so it's a big prog point. And Deep Dungeon, look, Jo, like in a lot of people you'll know, Deep Dungeon is a confidence thing. Once you get the confidence to do it once, man, does that carry over. Behemoth is the biggest example. Killing Behemoth the one time sets you up for like the future forever, you know? Big win for that. So that's probably where you're gonna approach it now. Maybe there'll be more pressure about actually getting to it, but not pressure on handling something you haven't handled before, right? It's a different pressure, so it'll be good. Okay, I'm going to take a small restroom break here. I'm going to stand up, I'm going to stretch a little bit, and then we will continue. We're going to get this to 120. I will have a little bit more time to do Astro, so you're going to expect maybe like 20 to 30 floors of Astro, and then that'll be it for my night. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in a little bit. We'll keep the background music here going. I'll get some ads out, and then we'll continue on 120. So BRB, thank you for the raid. And Jo, if you got to do your thing, by the way, you got to decompress, self-care, do your thing. But I will be back. We'll be here for maybe another hour or two. So see you in a little bit. Hey, good morning, Sadie. Hope you're having a good start of your day. Alright, let's continue. 111, and then the little Astro, and then good to go. Hold on, let me... Okay. Alright, that's good. Hello? That was nothing. was a little odd that my thing didn't go away the moment I moved, unless it just triggered. Like, am I lagging? I looked at my bitrate too. Okay. I know the servers have been very sensitive, so... Serenity... Thanks, Wallen. No, I'm 41. No, I'm way past 40 now. I'm 41, bro. I got 15 stars in the Tower of Adversity. I was satisfied with 15 stars. And then Lexi's like, oh, by the way, I got 18. I'm like, well, shit, dude. I gotta try to push for 18 to see if it's viable, but I gotta tell you, man, I am... I am tapped AF. I have nothing. I have no money, I have no XP anywhere, no Echo XP, no Resonator XP, no weapon, like nothing. No weapon, I have nothing. I have nothing. So I don't know how much I can push anymore, but I will try. Because I have nothing else going on at Wuwat, so... I might be able to get 18 if I had a second lecture team. Right now I'm 9 on the left. 9 on the left? Okay, what team are you running for the left? Seriously. Because my arrow team is just not cutting it, and I don't know what I want to do about it. You know, how I approached it, Wallen, I only spent 2 cubes to get to 40. I think it's better to save the cubes at 40 since you have a little bit more bonuses at 40. I had no problem emptying my cubes though. I have 7 left. I have no problem emptying my cubes in 40 because, I mean, how long is it gonna take for us to get to 50? So you may as well take advantage of it now. Not to mention, like, I still don't know that the you know, if Wuwa's gonna survive past Dawntrail, you know. I think it might, but Honkai for sure. Honkai survives past Dawntrail, but I don't know about Wuwa at the moment. You know, do I want to give it the time, so on and so forth, but... Yeah, Rover 70, but beyond that shrug. I have, Jianzin, Calchero, Rover, and Yin Lin at 70 at the moment, and that's why I have nothing left. I don't think I even got Verena to 70 yet. I got her weapon to 70 though. I was curious about what she mentioned about food, and I sent Yinulane into the arrow side with Havoc main shredded the chasm. Really? Ooh. I'm curious about how you came to the conclusion about our conversation about food to use Yin Lin on the arrow side. Like that's a really like weird chain of like thought process events that happened there. Huh, food. Let's use Yin Lin. Which is a question. Do you think the duels in Bozja are harder or Deep Dungeon solo? Okay, so hey Caroline, I'm gonna read your message in a little bit. Okay, so it's hard to do a 1-to-1 with Bozja duels and Deep Dungeon solo. So in my head, how you do a 1-to-1 is the boss encounter, right? Forget about like getting into the content of the duels. Like, okay, you're in the duels, you're doing the duels. Forget about going through the floors. You're into the boss, you're doing the boss. I feel like the Bozja duel bosses are harder than any boss in Deep Dungeon. Except maybe Behemoth, but Behemoth is hard in that last like 30 seconds. So I think the Bozja duels are way harder, and I really, really like the Bozja duels in terms of mechanics. So yeah, I don't know if that would be the answer you're looking for, but that's how I would look to answer that question. Wuwa's very low time investment daily, so I'm going to keep up with it. So far, yes, Ragi. I'm trying to see though, like how I want to organize it right now. I'm kind of just spamming energy as I see it, but it is pretty fast to burn the energy, which is really nice. So I'm hoping that it will be really low effort for me to maintain it daily. I can invest more. I don't know where to invest. I don't have a slam dunk for 13, but I'm thinking Yinlin main DPS. Yeah. Well, I want to try Yinlin on the Arrow team to drop Chasm Gun, you know? Because, like, I'm using Yang Yang and Jianzhen, so they're fine. My Jianzhen now is pushing damage. I'm really happy about it. I'm trying to gauge because I've done Boja duels. Ooh, okay. Well, the boss encounters are not going to be as hard. That I can tell you. Even the hardest bosses in EO, I would still say doesn't quite line up with the Boja duels. Now, okay, question though. It all depends on how you approach the Boja duels. If you did the Boja duels full mechanics, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're doing Boja duels speedrun or something like that, then it's a different perspective that way, you know. But if you're talking like mechanic to mechanic, then yeah, I actually wish that the mechanics of the deep dungeon bosses were of the difficulty or harder than the Boja duels, because the mechanics in the Boja duels were awesome. What mechanics? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, they were great. The mechanics were so good. That's one of the things I'm very excited for in Dawntrail, is I presume that they'll put the duels in for the open field. I hope they do, and we will prog those on stream. Line prog them on stream. I did that for Southern Front, and I did that for Zadnar. Awesome experience. Like, first and foremost, like, if anyone was watching that and is listening, like, the people who were there were really allowing me to figure it out. And that is quite possibly the best way to be able to play a game sometimes. Is that, you know, the audience is there to cheer you on, to just experience the ride, not provide answers, you know? And I didn't get any help at all, and it was great. Okay, let me hop to YouTube for a second. Caroline says, remember when I had said I had to stop Deep Dungeon after getting my Necromancer title? Now I can't resist the urge to climb it again and try to reach the EO title. There was so many things to learn from your live tutorial. I am dead at boss 40. Oh no, Twintania? Did Twintania take another life? Hey, you know, Deep Dungeon can be addicting. There's like a craving for the challenge. You're not the first, you won't be the last, so it makes sense to me, Caroline. Random question. I play on keyboard only too for... Wait. Hold on. I hate YouTube because sometimes the thing gets cut off. Okay. YouTube held this message for reviewed. Caroline just says I stepped on her twister, and YouTube's like, whoa, we can't have that in our chat. What the fuck, dude? Seriously? Okay. I play keyboard only for 14. Did you ever try to split keyboards? How do your hands, wrist feel? I have a split keyboard. That's what I said, Caroline. I have a split keyboard. The keyboard I have is called a Kinesis Gaming. I'm gonna type it in the YouTube chat. Kinesis Gaming is the brand. And I like the split keyboard personally, because I had a Razer Black Widow before. No real particular reason why it was a Razer Black Widow, outside of like I went to Best Buy, it was there, I knew of Razer and I got it, and it was a really good keyboard. But like the thing with that regular keyboard, it's actually in front of me. I use it for my second PC. My hands are like tight. They're like kind of this close, like if you see like this. So with a split keyboard, now my hands are like this far apart. They're like almost more shoulder width. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's like off screen. But my hands are more like on a wider kind of like the distance from each other, and that feels way more comfortable. You know, it feels more natural. It almost feels like on the regular keyboard, it's like I'm like squeezing and I'm like hugging something constantly. Now, I didn't personally have a problem. Like I didn't get a split keyboard because I was experiencing a problem, but it was more of like I didn't want a problem to occur if I was gonna do this for like, you know, the next 5 years, if you will. So I definitely am a fan of the split keyboard personally, and not to mention it's versatile. I could bring the distance even further if I wanted to, but I have it at a really comfortable position right now. So why do I not stun channels? At this very moment, I'm lazy. It's also not very threatening, so... Like, you'll see me care about it more in, like Eureka Orthos, maybe, or, like, in the higher floors, but... Also, Warrior's very durable. Usually, I would use a stun for, like, actual damage mitigation, not to stun the telegraphs. Actually, it makes a good point, though, Doa. For the telegraphs, a majority of them, you actually want them to go off and just like finish, except for stuff that makes you go away from the enemy, because it means you're not getting hit, which means it's damage mitigation. But a lot of times in this floor I don't really care. It's just, you know, I don't really care about the uptime. Am I using multiple binds for tab targeting? Multiple binds? So I'm using I don't tab for the targets, but what I am using is Q and E. Wait, where's that bind? Hold on. I don't remember which one. Okay. This one right here. This is where my targeting is. So if you look down here, the target cursor left and right, that is what I'm using to target enemies. So Q is target left, and then E is target right. So basically what this allows me to do is it's based on my character. So like in this instance, you see the slime on my left, the leech to my right. If I hit Q, I get right to the slime. If I see the leech on my right of my character, I gotta adjust. Right of my character. Okay, stop moving, for the love of God. Then I get the one right of my character to the leech, and that's almost precise every time, provided I position my character in a certain way to make that happen. So it's a little bit more precise than actual tab targeting, which I don't really rely on much in this content. And that also applies to like chests and whatnot, so that's what you're seeing generally. There'll also be times I'm spamming the button, so like I'll like for just like whatever reason, I'll just be doing this, which you'll see. Like it's just really no purpose other than just me spamming the button. But yeah, it was something that I adopted because of PvP. Because trying to tab target in PvP in like frontlines was complete ass. So I needed something a little bit more precise. I do also a combination of target nearest target, which I think is my alt Q, and that definitely helps me in PvP. I don't use it much in this content, but I will use it in certain situations. But yeah, I don't use it much in here. But that is another one that I will use. Target nearest target. So that basically is a button that will allow you to, whatever happens to be the closest to you, based on your character, it'll just get that one. Do I change that during other content? Nope. This is the same. I use the same things for all content on my end. Let me catch up in chat. I missed a couple things here, so I'm just gonna see if I can catch up here. Lexi said it was me seeing that stage 3 and thought, yeah, I haven't used Yin Lin and Hazard, so let me push that side. Doa says Jianzhen, Mortifi, Yin Lin might be an interesting setup. Set up Yin Lin, Forte, Mortifi ulti in this channel for DPS. Yuan Wu is actually really strong, and I'm surprised. Wait. People don't run him with Yin Lin. He's very nice to bosses, except you want the stagger ASAP. I just don't have the resources to bring him up at the moment. I did use him in one thing, but I just don't have resources to bring him up. Like, if I had all the resources to bring him all up, I would have, but... And my Yuan Wu is, like, I got, like, all the freaking, like, dupes for him. His Resonance Chain is almost capped, so it's, like, almost, like, I have to use him because of that. So mechanic-wise, I should be okay for Deep Dungeon solo then. Well, for the bosses specifically, Faith, if you're still listening, for the bosses specifically, you should be fine. In terms of, like, handling the floors, it's a different skill set when you're dealing with, like, the duels. Like, I would not put that at 1-to-1 when you're talking about, like, going through the floors, if that makes sense. That asks you a different skill set. So, in terms of the Twister that we mentioned earlier, I knew about Twister because of the Boja duels. Because in the Boja duels, Lion in Southern Front uses Twister. So I knew how to resolve Twister. NG says, split keyboard is the perfect reason to go ESDF JIJKL for max chatability. Okay, I'm not gonna dispute that. I was wondering, have I ever ran deep dungeons with a party? Oh yeah, I've done it with a party before. Actually, one of my very first Palace of the Dead clears was with a party. I did clear Heaven on High with a party before I got my solo title. EO though, Eureka Orthos, I've only run EO once with another person. Everything else has been completely solo. EO is like the one exception. But EO is like, you know, I'm like long into doing Deep Dungeon for a while, so I'm used to the solo thing now. Before in the past with Palace of the Dead and Heaven or High, it was more like I need a little help trying to learn these enemies and trying to get through like this solo content that I don't even know can be soloed. So it was research purposes. Now it's different. Excuse me. It's a focus check indeed. Yeah, it is a focus check. It really is. Yeah, EO is definitely a huge focus check. And you wander for a second, you're probably dead. It's wild, but that's really the truth. And a hubris check? Yeah, that's true. Oh, I have haste. Well... Everything's so fast-paced, the boss I met are way funnier. The bosses in EO, amongst anything else in EO, I think, are great. I think for sure it's in the right direction. And amongst anything else, that's one thing I hope for. I mean, we tossed around a lot of ideas for the next Deep Dungeon, which unfortunately, it may seem like, you know, anything wild might be out of the picture currently. But I think requesting harder bosses, or rather even harder bosses, wouldn't be too far off of something that's possible, right? This is battle design, so I'm really hoping they ramp up the difficulty of the bosses. Like, that actually makes me kind of excited if they do that. You know? Putting aside anything else you can put into the next Deep Dungeon, that might be one thing I would really, really, really enjoy. You want less bosses. I want a boss that doesn't rely on a demi-clone. How about that? What about that? Although, funny enough, I'd be willing to do the 90 boss without a demi-clone if I allotted enough time for it. But I wouldn't want to do the Gozu without a demi-clone, right? Because that fight's just too long. And like the Tiger too, he's too long. Oh, they better have a 99 boss now. Oh man, dude, I will be just freaking disappointed if they don't put a 99 boss in the next Deep Dungeon. Like, you already did it now, you may as well continue. Like, if anything, I don't think that's... Okay, the bosses, aside from, like, you know, what Ross said, right? Maybe, or like how you feel about the bosses in general, in terms of their duration, maybe you can make an argument, but I think universally everyone did. I feel like everyone liked the boss direction compared to like Heaven on High, for instance. And I didn't see anyone complain about the 99 boss being there. I think not everyone. I'm sure a lot of people are happy with the fact that they put a boss to 99, so I hope they keep that, you know? Okay. I love Administrator. Oh. Administrator is so much fun. What a fun boss that is. I keep asking about the binds. No, you good, dude. Today's a good day to ask it, because I'm just setting up files right now. What are the keys you're using in the right-hand side directional? Ooh, okay. Hold on. So, I'm hitting... Oh wait, it's here. Okay, so you're gonna see me using those keys. Those are my camera keys. Think of it like a WASD except on my right hand. That is what manipulates the camera. This is what's manipulating the camera. Typical WASD is handling the regular movement. So in sync together, that's how I'm managing the overall movement of my character. It's a combination of me manipulating the camera, counter to where my character is moving, and then my actual character movement, etc. And actually, as I think this was an Endwalker update. Endwalker had a thing where you can adjust it so the camera doesn't follow your character, which was a thing before. So we will have kind of very smooth movement even if we go left and right, because there was a thing where like the camera would always like try to realign itself behind the character. So if you were going sideways, then the camera would slowly like ease itself over. Where's that button again? Hold on. Character config. I'm gonna hope this over doesn't actually come to me. Where was that? I don't remember where that setting was. Yeah, I really don't remember where that setting was. I thought it would be here, but... Oh, here we go. Disable camera pivot. Okay, so like, if I apply this, right? And I go to the left, you'll see the camera like slowly like trying to rearrange itself like behind my character, so you see that kind of awkward angle. But I think this was an Endwalker thing that they added, that you can disable that pivot, so then when I go left and right, it's nice and smooth, you know? Which I really like a lot. Like, that was definitely a change I really enjoyed. So the movement you see with the camera as we're moving around, like I'm turning around this corner, I'm looking around this end, that's all me on my right hand managing the way I'm looking into those things. To go deeper into the binds. Your hands have been cramped. Yeah, I mean, one of the things with my setup that, you know, can be a little bit subjective is like the size of your hands. But I think it's still... I think just showcasing it that it's possible is what's important. I did do a guide a long time ago, which honestly I took a look at recently, and I was thinking about updating it, and I'm like, nah, it's still fine. That kind of goes over the gist of my keybinds that I use for like most of the stuff that I have and why I set it up and all that stuff. It's been definitely updated here and there over time, but that's at least a good way to start. If you need like a starter kit and something to look at, etc. Caroline on YouTube says, I also like that every mob is fightable with knowledge. Unlike PoTD, which is more about deciding which to fight on. You know, that's fair. And that's actually an interesting comment, Caroline, because there is going to be a counter argument to what you said, almost like the flip side. I think even today, someone was like, well, I like Palace because I like the threat of not having to, of looking at something and actually making this decision if I can even fight this or not. Whereas EO is like, oh, I could fight everything, it's not as fun. But that's what's great about having your own opinions and, you know, approaching the content yourself. That's a completely valid opinion, and it's really cool to hear it in that sense, you know? For some people, that is their preference, you know? And that's completely fair. And if anything, that's really one reason why I kind of do appreciate EO existing, is because it does give a different look to the general Deep Dungeons. And amongst anything else, that's what I'm hoping for Deep Dungeon 4. You know, to some extent, they at least change it in a way that it still feels different from the other 3. I mean, we're not gonna, you know, according to what it seems like from the information that we got in Media Tour, you're not gonna look for an overhaul of the new Deep Dungeon, but I'm hoping that you get something that's still a little bit more unique from the other 3. Hey, what's up, Wetmog? How you doing, man? I think it meant... Oh, I read that already. Okay, I think I caught it. I personally like EO better, but just one simple factor, no crits. Nothing feels cheaper than getting triple critted just dying to your default on your own. That's completely fair too. Not gonna dispute that, not gonna debate it, not gonna argue it. Personally, I like the crits. I actually have built my strategies around the idea of crits, and maybe it's a little bit of me just getting used to the strategy and then now having to not get used to the strategy, you know? It's an interesting perspective, that's for sure. Yeah, that's completely fair. Completely fair. Yeah, I imagine that's gonna be something that will be present in the next Deep Dungeon if you don't see crits. Yo, what's up, Webma? I've been great. I hope you've been good. I've been, getting ready for Dawntrail. I'm sure you're ready for Dawntrail. But, yeah, been going great. Thanks for asking, man. Gecko! It's Gregolian. I just don't see myself. I'm happy with the older ones and listening for that exact reason. Yeah. And that's why, I think, I said this a long time ago too. Like, currently I know EO is kind of, you know, it's a little split amongst the community in a way. But I think I would actually appreciate EO much more if the next Deep Dungeon is like changed in a way that's unique, you know? So now it's like you have a version of Deep Dungeon that's like EO. You have a version of Deep Dungeon that's like Palace in Heaven on High. And then now you have this version of Deep Dungeon that's like the 4th one. And they all have different flavors. And you could hate it, love it, whatever it might be, but I think I would appreciate that. It's like, well, okay, you know, this one will challenge you this way, this one will challenge you this way, this one, like, I think that'll be great. Like, that'll be, I think, bare minimal what I would want to have. Ew. Alright, let me get the shout out from Mr. Gego. I think I fought the thing that was supposed to be shooting me. Gego, how was your stream, man? What are you up to today? Thanks for the follow. Oh, you're doing more Dave the Diver! That game looks pretty cool. I was watching you play a little bit on the Mondays when I was able to tune in. That game looks kind of cool. I hope you're having a blast with that game. It's like... Well, shit. It's like, you have, like, the mix of, like, the kitchen part, you have the actual combat part. The story looks interesting, so... Guys, check out my buddy Gego. He's a cool dude. I love his variety streams. Really cool place to hang out. You will typically see me there if he's live. And, really, really enjoy his stuff, so definitely check him out if you need a little chill variety in your life. Hold on, let me handle these dudes and let me catch up in chat here. So let me go this way. Okay. Sadie says, I've slowly become EO kill. I don't want to go back to the face roll early floors, but I would like better HP balancing throughout and later and harder later towards the next Deep Dungeon. Yeah, like, I really hope, like, someone in their dev team heard about the complaints about the early floors, you know? Like, Sadie, I'm holding out hope. I know we were memeing sometimes in Discord every time a patch comes in. You know, someone who hasn't been around comes in, they're like, hey, did they fix EO yet? And then everyone's like, oh no, it'll be in the next patch. It'll be in the next patch. It's like, I'm holding out that little hope that you see that bit where they adjust EO into, like, into 7.0. Like, okay, we made adjustments so once if... Oh my god. Wouldn't that be badass, dude? I was just trying to do EO until Dawntrail. This thing's kicking my butt, everything just one-shots. Yeah, it hurts. I mean, you know, just don't get hit, you're fine. easy game, just don't get hit. But yeah, it's a tricky one. It's definitely a tricky deep dungeon. It will challenge you very differently. I would, you know, Wetmog, I would like to think you would definitely manhandle the EO pretty well with your raid experience. That's what I would think. So I think you'll get there. Just making the adjustments, you know. Michaela, hello, how you doing, Norman? I would love a deep dungeon design for Blue Mage where you gain spells through fours. It's a pipe dream, but mana dream. It's gonna have to be a continued dream because it doesn't seem like, I don't know. I feel so pessimistic about like next deep dungeon now, hearing like the interview from Haps, but I mean it makes sense. It's just I'm currently now like not bringing my hopes too high. I still want to have like the dreams of like, you know, having this, having that, but it might be something we have to wait until like the next expansion. Dave the Diver is fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. It just keeps going. The game just keeps adding more and more. Ooh, nice. We gotta love a game when it keeps your attention, that's for sure. Alright. I hope to catch more next time you go live with it. I think like currently like the Mondays I'm able to catch on to it, so it's been nice seeing you get some of the gameplay in. I don't mind face roll OD floors because the alternative is making leveling your equal first time a horrible slot. I really like the higher HP pulls in the floors. I like being able to do my rotation. I find two-shotting things really boring, but also please reduce the HP of the Minotaur. The Minotaur. Actually, yeah, I mean, the Minotaur boss, I think, is like the last one for me that just a little high on the HP, but but then I was just saying like, okay, like 60 is like a long fight, 70 is a long fight. It starts to feel like you need a demi to get through what? Why are they? Okay. Hello? Okay, you know what? Forget it. What do you call it? It definitely seems like it's designed around this idea that you should be demiing these floors when you're solo, which again kind of feels, you know, weird. But then the 90 boss comes around, and it's like I'd rather do the 90 boss for 15 minutes because that fight's really good, you know. I mean, I might even try to do that next time, because I always demi that boss, but I don't leave enough time for the boss, generally speaking, but I wouldn't mind doing the 90 boss for that long. And it's the only boss I wouldn't mind for doing that long. 80 is like... 80, it's a fight that I would prefer not to have to do for a long time, because I think I increase my chances of messing up that fight. 60 and 70 are like... I mean, they're still great. Like, even if I say that they're boring, they're still better than what you have in Devil on High, but they are, like, you know, simple, I guess is the way to put it, after you figure out the strategy. Okay, wait, let me catch up on YouTube a little bit. Angie says they didn't make some of the menus super keyboard friendly, I swear. I mean, I think it's, like, not bad for controller, because it is similar to controller, to be fair. I agree with that statement. This is also why... Wait, what? I can't read that. This is also why I returned to PoTD 2. I think, but that's what it is. I think... I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I do feel like Deep Dungeon 4, if it just is a different flavor than the other 3, I think that's the best case scenario. It can be a strikeout for all not for all I care. I mean, I care, but it can be like, you know, the worst iteration of Deep Dungeon. But as long as it's something that is actually really unique from the other 3, I think I would still appreciate it, because then it's like you look into like Deep Dungeon 5 potentially, knowing that they're gonna try something again that's going to be unique, and that much I would appreciate. Like, it would really stink if, like, I think in a way, maybe it would have really stunk if EO was going to be instead, like, you know, Palace of the Dead, Heaven on High, and then the third version of those two. Maybe. Because then that means Deep Dungeon 4 is going to be Palace of the Dead, Heaven on High, third Deep Dungeon, fourth Deep Dungeon, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be the same thing over and over. So, I don't know, it's hard to tell, obviously. We need to get more information out of it, but we'll see. There's like, I was asking chat earlier, if you hopped in here as of the past couple hours. If anyone had seen anything on Media Tour concerning Deep Dungeon, and it looked like the only thing we saw was from Mr. Happy, who asked the question. But it was pretty much, I mean, it's not surprising. I'm not expecting anyone to ask anything Deep Dungeon, but I'm still hoping. Still hoping. But you're probably gonna get more in like 7.1 or something like that. When they start working on the development of that content. Sure. So, if you just hopped in, by the way, especially from like Gecko's stream, etc. Also, Mandrake, thanks for that follow earlier. We are setting up some files for the future. Earlier in the stream, we set up a Paladin file at 70, at 41 plus. We're gonna do that Monday during the EU hour stream at 3 PM Eastern. Typically, if I do Heaven on High, I like to do 21 to 100 in one straight go, or 1 to 100 in one straight go. Monday's the maintenance, so I push the file to 41, because mathematically speaking, if I start at 3 PM Eastern, the maintenance is at 9 PM Eastern, so it should give me 6 hours to get that running if I go all the way. So that's why it's at 41. Right now, we're setting up a Palace of the Dead file Warrior, which is going to be a no sustain. The Paladin, by the way, is a no sustain as well. No regen potion on that file. The Warrior's a no sustain complete run. We're getting this to 120. And you'll see the continuation of this file on Sunday. And this will also include Behemoth, which I kind of have a plan for. I don't have a lot of confidence on it, but we are going to try to do Behemoth without sustaining. And then, after this one, I'm going to spend a tiny bit of time, maybe about 20 floors, setting up an Astro file, which I want to do as my send-off to Endwalker, one of our last streams before Dawntrail shows up. So that's what we're going to chip away at, and I need to get the file ready. Like, I think 130 or 140 is where I'm going to park it at. Probably 130, we'll see. But, yeah, that's our kind of finale stream. Leading into Dawntrail, so that's what we're working on today. Yeah. You know, we have a lot of people, obviously, who care about Deep Dungeon Wetlog. And I'm almost certain someone would have said something by now, and no one's seen anything, so... And that's what I'm basing off of with, like, that's why I sound so, like before, I was so excited for all these, like, wild ideas, you know, of, like, oh, maybe they'll make it more roguelite, maybe they'll do this, do that, and now it's just like, yeah, you're probably gonna expect the same thing before. It's just because that's what the answer was, but you never know. I mean, you know, you can still hold out hope for something wild and new, but... realistically speaking. I love that trap, that's my favorite. What did I get? Ochu. Teething Ochu? Okay. Not too bad. Reloading. Points, woo. Yeah, good thing I started at 51, so I can really maximize my point efficiency. I already have rank 2 on Ether, dude. I don't need more scoring. I'm happy with rank 2. Or maybe it's rank 3 by now, I don't know. No, I had rank 1 for a month. I'm good. And then it got taken over, but I'm happy with that. I'll answer that in a second, but well. Yeah, but that's only if I'm Arahi. I'm not. So, Summoner was strong. Honestly, I don't have too much memory of Summoner. Like, nothing stood out for Summoner. I mean, at 90, I think a lot of the jobs are very powerful with Mog. Not to mention, I feel like the melee kind of get a little bit more highlight in EO than they do in the other deep dungeons. But the only two things that stood out for me in Summoner was like the risk of the Ifrit dash, and I think the risk of the Garuda AoE too, because both of which can get you in trouble. But that's about it. I think the run in general was fine. I think I one-shot that one, Summoner. I don't think I had too much of a problem with Summoner. But I have heard of many tales of people diving to their deaths, so... and that was, that's really unfortunate. The shield and... Yeah, well, yes. I mean, the shield is fine. An on-demand shield is always good. You're certainly not going to complain about it. It's just like, because the damage that you take is so low, it's kind of a whatever thing, you know what I mean? Another learning trap. I don't want to strength on. Sorry if I missed you talking about it already, but which new job you taking to the dungeon? Pictum. Pictomancer, Heaven on High is my first destination. DJ Cool. #1 score in the world summoner right now for you. Really? Oh wow, is it JP? Who got the #1 score? Damn. For me, Summoner felt mostly like Machinist, except being constant pogs. I would say that's consistent throughout the deep dungeons too. But then again, in the 90 kit, you have a little bit more risk because of the Ifrit dash that you have to be careful of, especially if you're hitting on rotation. And then the Garuda AoE, because if it's down long enough, you're just gonna pull patrol. And in deep dungeon, in EO, I apologize, in like 81 plus to 91 plus, the patrols are kind of out of control sometimes. So it could be a risk. Like, it's like Dark Knight's Salted Earth. You have to be a little bit careful, you know. Oh, Hustle Hoop has it! Oh, wild. Okay, cool. See you winning. Where can I find your playlist? I do have a little bit of it on the YouTube-ish. It's not the same thing, but some of the songs are collected on that playlist. My playlist that I'm using now is one that's on my PC that I'm pulling the files from. So it is like a custom one, but yeah. It might be a little out of date. There might also be songs that are that might not be there, but yo, what up? Almost used the rage by accident, but that's fine. think I might kill both bees. Well, maybe I'll be fine. Yeah, maybe I'll kill both bees. You got Tantara hard. I have not done that dungeon in years. Well, I haven't done a dungeon in years, let alone, you know, not including the expansion stuff, I guess, but... Oops, I didn't do that the way I wanted to. Not even a deep... I don't include deep dungeon in the dungeons. Dungeon to me is queuing up into the DF or something, you know? The duty finder. This one I just run solo. It's a fair question, it's a fair question. Yeah, maybe I'll keep one alive, whatever. I think I'll make it. Oh, I did that too early, oops. Okay. Warriors set up. Again, you'll see the continuation of this file Sunday. 121 to hopefully past 180, but I don't know about that one. 4th no item floor in EO 110.